obviously the bullpen has been stellar until the month turned May, and it hasn't just been one guy; it's been everybody. I should say all of the back. I can say everybody. It's been everybody in the bullpen that has struggled in the month of May.
Yeah, no, everybody.
Versus what happened at the end of March and April, and that's okay sometimes, right? Because they have the type of team offensively that, when it ain't perfect, they will find a way. I mean, the base running in what inning was that? Let me go back. The base running in the eighth.
Yes.
That got them in position to tie.
Yes, they were down.
That got them even, right?
Yeah,
it was great base running on a blooper, and then you had the ball in the dirt that ball. I mean, it wasn't toddy. By no means am I saying it was toddy, but that ball didn't trickle away all that far either. It was Manny's anticipation of it being in the dirt in the first place, got that game tied. And then you turn it over to, the alien in right field named Fernando Tatis Jr. And I'm watching this guy like literally at the beginning of the game, leg kick. Second at bat, he's going back to putting it down because I think he realizes Soriano and that sinker is just hard to have the leg kick. So then he moved away from it, battled his way through that, had a couple walks. And then in the ninth, he's facing Kenley. He's leg kicking again. And I don't know that it was perfect, but this dude is just like, I don't know. He's even as he's not as locked in as he was in the beginning of the season,
right?
He's still having impactful moments at bats, whatever you need. He's also been able to pull it off.
Here's the thing, Tony, and I went through this, going back over the last week just to see where the bullpen truly has been. And in the last 7 games, the bullpen has been called upon 6 times because remember, Kolek.
So this is just in the last week, basically.
In the last week only. Kolek pitched a complete game, so they weren't used. In those 6 games, it is hard to believe this. The bullpen itself has given up 31 runs. It's just the bullpen. I didn't even include, the stuff before that. Their ERA is over 16 over the last week out of the bullpen. Yeah. But as you said, the good news behind all of that is their record in that stretch is 3-4. Yeah. Most teams, if your bullpen went a 16 ERA for a week, you'd be 0-7. You wouldn't win any of the games.
All those games, for sure.
And I think it doesn't make look, the bullpen's got to get out of this slump. I think they will. They got too many good arms down there, to keep this going. So, yeah, they're going to turn it. They'll be whatever. But the fact that they've won 3 games during this stretch, to me, speaks volumes of what this team is about this year. They found a way, and they got the big swing. That was the first walk-off home run of Fernando's career.
Which was very surprising to me.
It is, of course. But it happened at the time you really needed one. And that's kind of what this team's been doing. I think it's one of the identities of this team for the first 7-8 weeks of the season, Tony, is that despite what might be happening, Jackson Merrill was out for a month. Cronenworth was out. They've had all kinds of injuries. They have a certain guy's slump. They have, other guys have contributed, not contributed. Manny's got 3 home runs instead of maybe having 9 or 10 around this time of season. They keep finding. Dylan Cease went through his spell where he was not pitching like Dylan Cease. Yeah. They are still winning. They're still 26-15. They're still on pace for 100 games. Normally, when your record is as good as the Padres is, it's because a lot of stuff is going right. But for them, it's going like it is, even though a bunch of stuff is going wrong.
Right. It hasn't gone like worst case. It hasn't gone like worst case scenario, but it certainly hasn't gone perfect. Right. The wins and losses say it has, but considering, as you mentioned, I mean, the injuries in the beginning, you started the season without Darvish. You know what I'm saying? So these things have all kind of happened, and they've still found a way to win games. Last night just being one of those more impressive moments, where they look where you got basically you get the air popped on your balloon, and then all of a sudden you find your way back into the game, and then you win it. And it was fun to be a part of. It was fun to watch last night.
Yeah, and I have a feeling we're in for a lot more of that this year, and this is why this team is, doing what it's doing. You talk about the base running. Again, I know that the Xander Bogaerts haters saw a 1-for-2, walked a couple times game and blah, blah, blah. I saw a guy go from first to third on a hit that he probably shouldn't have been able to get there on.
100%.
And then score a run because of that. And that was in the 5th inning. But these are the winning plays that I see from Xander that his detractors I don't think even want to try to see. Is he doing what everything? No, blah, blah, blah. We've been through this a million times.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, right.
No, blah, blah, blah.
Right. We have nothing else to say about that. But he himself found a way.
Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. He found a way to help you win the game with that one play. Jackson Merrill, last night went 0 for 4. He's the natural, I'm calling this guy now. But you know what? Gavin Sheets picked him up with an RBI. These are the things that are making a winning team and what makes a winning team. And you and I think we sense that sometimes more than the diehard everyday, people who, want to give up on everything when it doesn't work.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of how it goes for my man Xander. He was productive, 2 walks, had the run scored, had the single. I don't even know, the Padres, that shouldn't be the topic of conversation. I mean, this was a good, nice victory for them. As you said, it looked like they were on their way to lose 3 straight against a last place team. And they get a win. And now they got a chance to win the series, which is something they have done a lot of this year. And it's how you end up getting to 100 ultimately. If that ends up being the case, is by winning all these series. This got a chance to do it today. A guy who they've seen a lot of, Randy Vasquez, I've seen his ERA go up and slowly start to tick back down. Got another chance to go out and have another good performance. Keep stacking them together.
Yeah, and you mentioned, was it Kyle Hendricks for the
yes.
for the Angels tonight? He's a guy that has driven us crazy at times in the past, but he's also not that Kyle Hendricks anymore. And the Padres,
I don't think this is that offense either.
No, you're right. And he also they hit him up pretty good last year. So I feel like they're going to be okay tonight to put some runs on the board. Vasquez, as you said, he's coming off I didn't know this, but last game against Colorado was the first time all year that he had more strikeouts than walks.
Yep.
And it turned into probably his best performance.
Definitely.
So I hope he takes that same mindset to the mound today. And if he throws strikes, he'll be fine. Look, if they get 4 or 5 hits and get a couple runs, that's not going to bother me. Just throw strikes, give yourself your defense a chance. And if everything else fails for Mike Schilt, all he has to do is bring Jason Adam into the game. And then the Padres will score in the next inning because Jason Adam is now 4-0. He's
the vulture.
He has vultured himself now into 4 wins out of the bullpen. That is a lot of wins at this point in the season. Jason Adams on his way to a 15-win season in the bullpen. But look, he pitched 6 pitches in the 9th inning. I mean, he just carved him up. So good to see him right back at it. And, look, Schilt said yesterday, why shouldn't he trust his bullpen? And I'm sure there was some rolling eyes out there and, they want the manager to be critical and all this. First of all, he's got to keep rolling with these guys, so he's not going to ever give up on them, but nor should he. They've been too good to give up on. 1 week has been terrible, but, 2 years has been great. So I'm okay with what we got. And, it's just a matter of everybody getting maybe Suarez can get in there tonight and put the taste of the other night out of his mind and get right back on the horse, and everything will be okay. Get another win.
I don't know why not everybody. I don't know why certain people want to change the team so much. I know that you need to improve the team on the edges, but the amount of calling for trade Robert Suarez, not because of his performance last night, but just to bolster the rest of the team. Why? Why? Everything's working right now. Why are you going to mess with that? Why are you going to throw a wrench into something that's working?
Because they aren't good GMs. That's why.
In Sports Court, we're gonna have a not good GM because that guy he's the you don't know ball guy is what we're gonna be
we got one
about.
of those in Sports Court, huh?
Oh yeah. But like I see the trade Suarez,
Hey Scrape, I want you to turn Scrape, I want you to turn around. Look at that clock behind you there, player.
Oh.
Yep. Stop that thought right there, Scraby.
One time I try to talk and it's at the break.
I'm going to have to tell you something. You don't know clock. Taking a break. Gwynn and Chris is underway. We'll tell you what's coming up, including Buster Olney shortly, so stick around.
Comedy legends turned rockers Ken Marino
2:17 on the clock. Tony Gwynn Jr., Chris Ello, Matt Scraby. Talking some NBA. We will have Buster Olney on 2:40 next segment. Talk a little Padres. Talk a little. He said. I saw he said it earlier today. Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame. Get his thoughts and.
The question is I think, you're right, Tony. He did say that. He thinks it's not even a question. Pete should be in the Hall of Fame. The question I'm looking forward to asking him, does he think he actually will be voted in?
Right.
Because I think that's kind of the outlier right now. So be interesting to hear his thoughts.
Doesn't think his career was worthy enough to
exactly.
be a Hall of Famer. And he was given a lifetime ban for gambling on the game. His life is now over, unfortunately. So I guess the ban now ends, and now it will be left up to the Veterans Committee to get him in. And so, we shall see.
Right.
Let's talk some NBA, Chris. Season came to an end last night for the Cleveland Cavaliers, who were favored in that series. And the season very well could come to an end for those green guys out in Massachusetts.
You will be dancing on their tombstone, I'm sure, as will a lot of people.
It'll be a light dance, only because of
because your buddy injury. Who's making fun of you with the Knicks.
Oh, no, yeah, that too. I'm actually I'm looking forward to the Knicks kicking this analytic shooting three Celtics team up out of here.
That's the thing. I think everybody should celebrate this. If you're a fan of NBA basketball at all, enough of the Celtics shooting 60, 70 3-pointers every game and not doing anything else. And when you win the championship, it's the thing to do, and people copy you. I like a little more team basketball. I think it's more, pleasing to watch. More guys get involved, a little more player movement. Certainly, everybody can do the isolation stuff, and these players are so good now that isolation isn't always a bad way to go because it's so hard to defend.
It's effective, yeah.
Yeah, but I just like teams that have a little more than, a one-trick pony, and I think that's kind of what the Celtics have been. And, unless Jaylen Brown can have a monster game tonight, and maybe Porzingis or something, the Knicks ought to be able to go in there and wrap this up at Boston tonight. I wanted to ask you this, speaking of the Knicks, and then the Cavaliers is another thing we got to touch on. But speaking of the Knicks, I have come to the conclusion in my mind, watching as much playoff basketball as I have this year, that my new guy to close out a game in better than any player in the NBA, better than anyone, is Jalen Brunson now.
Without question.
I don't think anybody can hold a candle to this guy in the last 4 minutes of a game, making plays for himself, for others, 3-pointers, drawing fouls, just winning the game. I've never seen anybody quite like it. He's only about 4'7" compared to the guys that are guarding him.
4'7".
Right? I mean, he's amazing.
He's fun to watch because he's not the most fast dude. He's not the quickest dude. He certainly isn't going to jump over anybody. He's not tall.
Yeah.
But that dude gets his shot off every time.
Yeah,
and if he can't get his shot off, he's kicking it out in a place where you're not guarding, because you probably got too much attention on him. Yeah, no, I think if I'm not mistaken, he won the clutch award.
He did
this season.
He did, and I'm here to second that notion.
Yeah,
because I don't see. I mean, you can give SGA the MVP, you can give Jokic, you can go to Luka, you can go to LeBron at this advanced part of his career. Jason Tatum, and too bad on his injury, but whoever you wanted, Donovan Mitchell. I can think of so many all-star players. I don't think any of them are as good as Brunson anymore.
By the way, he's doing this on Drew Holiday, who's one of the best defenders in all of the NBA.
Yeah.
He's just I don't know that I subscribe to this thought before, the last couple of seasons watching the Knicks. But the NBA is way better when the Knicks are a relevant team.
Yeah, I think so.
They are. They just are. And when they have a guy like that, it just makes for a better playoffs. They're on the verge of taking out the 1 seed, and they were on the verge of doing that with a healthy Jason Tatum.
Yes, make no mistake, they would have been ahead 3-1 regardless.
For sure. For sure.
The only thing now is that they have a very good chance to clinch it tonight. And Cleveland laid a big fat egg. I watched that, 5 games. I know Cleveland won 64 games, but it was clear to me that Indiana was just better than they were. I don't even think it was that close. Indiana seemed like they could turn it on whenever they wanted to. Cleveland, again, it was Donovan Mitchell, or they were kind of hoping.
And that's where they got themselves into trouble. Donovan Mitchell is a proven playoff performer, but his cohorts are not.
That's right.
Garland,
Mobley, they disappeared a little bit.
Who are really uber talented. I mean, what's the guard's name? Garland would miss the first couple of games with the toe injury. He came back. They lost that 3rd game or the 4th game, whichever one it was. Nonetheless, though, I think he's just those guys have to go through their growing pains. Unfortunately for Donovan, he's already been on a playoff team and had to do that kind of thing and take his lumps. He needed those other 2 guys to show up, and they didn't show up. Garland, you could maybe give a pass because he was hurt through the first 3 games or 2 games, whatever it was. But Mobley, who was a little bit banged up too, didn't show up either. And, the reason why they had 60-plus wins was because those guys were big-time players during the regular season. They didn't have that during the postseason, though.
I'm going to give you one more
in that round.
Yeah, I'm going to give you one more NBA thought, Tony, because it looks like it's going to be the Pacers and the Knicks, unless the Celtics can really do something here. I'm going to pick the Pacers.
You're taking the Pacers.
I am.
Huh?
I Brunson, and I just went on and on about Brunson, right? But Indiana's got 9 guys that are all playing well right now. And I mean, every single guy that Carlisle brought into those games performed and contributed. And I think it's going to be too much for the Knicks.
See,
I'm picking the Pacers right now.
I think the Knicks will change that because of how they guard.
Okay.
I'm gonna take the Knicks, and assuming it's Knicks Pacers, by the way, which is just a phenomenal old school matchup.
Right. Yeah.
Knicks Pacers. This takes you back to like the late 90s, early 2000s.
I think they should have Reggie Miller and Spike Lee square off at mid-court before the game.
I hope he's on the games. Reggie Miller needs to be on those games for that series if it happens.
Yeah.
I got the Knicks in that series. Should it go there?
All right. We'll see. The other one tonight, by the way, the Warriors will try to stay alive against the T-Wolves. That's just not fair. I mean, without one of the greatest players in the history of the game, the Warriors just don't have enough. So
they don't.
I think that's kind of a given.
It's a completely different team without Steph Curry on the floor.
And by the way, Draymond, did you see, got fined $50,000 for questioning a referee's call and saying that it was made to try to control the point spread at the end of the game. Probably not the best.
I heard him say that on a hot mic, is something about the point spread.
Yeah. I said they made the call so that, the spread would fall a certain way. Wow. The NBA was not thrilled with that one, Draymond. So
Draymond, you're a wild man.
Yes, he is. Yeah, you can't say that, even if you believe it to be true.
According to a Spot Track, Green had been fined $992,000 in his career, with $185,000 coming from actions towards officials.
Wow.
He's also been docked $3.2 million for his suspension.
Wow.
That is insane.
You know who we have to ask about that someday? Mrs. Draymond Green.
What'd she think about all this?
She can't love the fact
that he's married, right?
I don't know if he's married, but I'm assuming. Yeah, we got to ask Mrs. Draymond Green. How does Draymond? How do you handle that when he comes home with a $2 million suspension?
I'm pretty sure she knew what she was marrying.
I don't think she thought she was marrying that. My wife would go through the roof if Adam wanted $5 from me.
Yeah, it's all relative, though. If you were making the kind of money that he was making, maybe Lori doesn't look at it that way.
$3.2 million is a lot of money, no matter how much you make.
Yeah, if any one of us normal people come home with a $3.2 million fine,
are you kidding?
We're all in big trouble.
Yeah.
Draymond comes home with it, it's whatever.
Never hear the end of that. Ever.
I don't
ever,
think so,
ever. Forever,
Agreed.
ever? Yes, forever, ever. All right, let's get to
Tony
break.
just did Outcast in the form of a hot take. That was great. That was good stuff.
Let's get to break. Let's get to break. On the other side, Buster Olney, ESPN, joins us next. More Gwynn and Chris.
Ben and Wood.
There's a Roadrunner. Meet me. He doesn't like me. I guess I wouldn't like me either if I was chasing me. As you can see, I'm all Aztec out here at the Aztec baseball tournament. It's the SDSU baseball alumni tournament. Right now, we are 1 under in the scramble, and Chris is playing well, Tony's playing well, but our ringer, Jack Townsend, is playing really well, so. So Chris says that he can't play golf, but this is the second birdie putt he's made for us. This time it was like 20 feet.
Thank you very much, Greg. But once again, you're hitting some very nice shots as well. I'm not usually complimentary to you, but I can't help but be complimentary. Your shot making today.
With my what?
Your shot making. You've hit some.
We are league 10 now, and it's getting really windy. It's actually kind of cold. I'm not gonna lie, I know we're in San Diego, but we're 3 under as a group. We just got off the birdie, and I just hit my defense. There's a squirrel. He wants to attack me. Squirrely! We just got our second birdie of the day thanks to this guy.
Yeah, a 4-footer after.
It was a 5-footer.
After our pro drove it 300 to the front of the green and then chipped it within 5 feet.
Uh-oh.
Gravy, don't feed the animals.
Don't feed the animals. I do feed animals, but Chris made a birdie putt. Leaving the golf course. And we ended up shooting 63 once everything was accounted for, since it was a scramble and we had an SDSU golf player, Jack Townsend. He was with us and he did a lot for us. I think we shot 63 because of him, but we all had a good time. There's a Roadrunner. Meet me. He doesn't like me. I guess I wouldn't like me either if I was chasing me. As you can see, I'm all Aztec out here at the Aztec baseball tournament. It's the SDSU baseball alumni tournament. Right now, we are 1 under in the scramble, and Chris is playing well, Tony's playing well, but our ringer, Jack Townsend, is playing really well, so. So Chris says that he can't play golf, but this is the second birdie putt he's made for us. This time it was like 20 feet.
Thank you very much, Greg. But once again, you're hitting some very nice shots as well. I'm not usually complimentary to you, but I can't help but be complimentary. Your shot making today.
With my what?
Your shot making. You've hit some.
We are league 10 now, and it's getting really windy. It's actually kind of cold. I'm not gonna lie, I know we're in San Diego, but we're 3 under as a group. We just got off the birdie, and I just hit my defense. There's a squirrel. He wants to attack me. Squirrely! We just got our second birdie of the day thanks to this guy.
Yeah, a 4-footer after.
It was a 5-footer.
After our pro drove it 300 to the front of the green and then chipped it within 5 feet.
Uh-oh.
Gravy, don't feed the animals.
Don't feed the animals. I do feed animals, but Chris made a birdie putt. leaving the golf course, and we ended up shooting 63 once everything was accounted for, since it was a scramble, and we had an SDSU golf player, Jack Townsend. He was with us, and he did a lot for us. I think we shot 63 because of him, but we all had a good time. There's Roadrunner. Meet me. He doesn't like me. I guess I wouldn't like me either if I was chasing me. As you can see, I'm all Aztec out here at the Aztec baseball tournament. It's the SDSU baseball alumni tournament. Right now, we are 1 under in the scramble, and Chris is playing well, Tony's playing well, but our ringer, Jack Townsend, is playing really well. So
33 is the time, Priscilla. Tony Gwynn Jr. is down at Petco Park, where the Padres will go for the series win tonight against the Halos. The reason they're going for the series win is a nice comeback victory last night. 2 in the 8th to tie, and then the Fernando 2-run homer, his first walk-off home run ever, to give the Padres a big 6-4 win and make sure that the losing streak did not reach 3. Speaking of winning and losing streaks, just to catch you up on a couple here, the Minnesota Twins have extended to a 9-game win streak. They beat the Orioles 6-3 earlier today in the first of a doubleheader. Second game, Baltimore leads 6-5, top of the 7th. The Cardinals' 9-game win streak was ended by the Phillies 2-1 in the first of a doubleheader earlier today. And one more score, Arizona leads the Gigantes. 8-4 D-backs in the top of the 6th in San Francisco. Right now, beginning play today, Padres a half back, Giants 2.5, Arizona 5.5. And no, there are the Rockies. They're still in the league. Still there.
You thought they were going to kick them out of the league mid-season?
They should. Yeah, they've lost 2 in a row since we last left them. So they continue to slide even further into the abyss.
I read this whole well-thought-out article about relegation in baseball, because there's always one team that's terrible.
They might be the first to do it, yeah.
The only thing that will never allow that to be a thing is they're never going to bring up a AAA team and have their games in a AAA stadium. It's just never going to happen.
Yeah,
ever.
That's why relegation wouldn't work, because you'd have to set up the AAA parks at least, like all of the big league parks.
Right.
But the part of that is
all the soccer stadiums are the same,
right.
So it can work. Yeah. I don't know. I think next year, if the Padres open the season against the Savannah Bananas instead of the Rockies, I think it might be a good idea.
The Bananas are
the Bananas.
Insanely popular.
That's what I mean. So
insanely
play
popular.
the
Yeah, here's the deal though. Would you want to watch that over 162 games?
No.
Like back to back days. Like I don't know that plays.
I'd wear out for sure.
I would too, because like and I get it, it's an exhibition, but if you hit one into the crowd and they catch it, you're out.
They definitely have found their niche, though, for sure.
I think they just filled Nissan Stadium in Nashville.
They've been filling a lot of stadiums.
And they're coming here at some point soon. I don't know exactly when, but yeah.
Who are they going to play? The Washington Generals? Who's their opponent?
I don't know. Let me look that up.
All right, look it up. Buster Olney is going to join us here in a couple of minutes. The big news here, obviously, the last couple of days, the reinstatement of Pete Rose, as well as Shoeless Joe Jackson, and many others, by the way, Tony. I don't know if people even realize, because I didn't realize this. There's a lot of different guys throughout the history of baseball that have been kicked out of the game forever.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even know. I just thought it was, the Black Sox, and I thought it was Pete Rose. But there's many other guys, but none of them are, Hall of Fame material. So we will see what Buster has to say about Pete and whether he should be we know that Buster thinks he should be inducted into the Hall of Fame, but some other angles that I think we can broach with him shortly.
September 5th and 6th, the Savannah Bananas are going to be playing at Petco Park against the Firefighters.
What Firefighters?
That's the team name, Chris. I don't think it's actually firefighters playing against Savannah Bananas.
I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe
no, there's like a bunch of other teams
a bunch
too.
Of local firefighters.
No, like I'm looking at their schedule, and they're basically sold out until August, and they have maybe 18 sold out locations over the summer.
Yeah, Savannah Bananas to me is a one-trick thing. Like, I think it would be fun to watch once. I've seen enough video of it now that I don't really need to go see a whole game.
I know we're disappointing a lot of people.
Sorry about that.
Because they're Savannah Banana love is like next level.
Yeah, well,
I mean, it's like the baseball's version of the Harlem Globetrotters. Like,
I don't know, man. I think the Globetrotters are just the bomb. Love the Globetrotters.
So you're not even trying to put them in that category?
Not even, man. I think the Globetrotters are awesome the way they used to beat up on the Washington Generals.
Do they still play?
Globetrotters? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know who got to play for the Washington Generals one night against the Globetrotters in a game that was played at the sports arena?
Chris Ello?
No, Coach John Quintera, though.
Wait,
Coach John Quintera got put in the game for the Generals. Got to play.
Really?
Yeah, he got to play in the game. It was 10 years ago, cool. Maybe. That is cool, right?
That is very
cool. Tony, you would sign up for that, right? If the Generals
I wouldn't sign up for that. But
you would
it's
want
still
to
cool
play
though.
against the Globetrotters?
No, they don't get to do anything, right? You gotta follow script, don't you?
No, well, the Generals have to play real basketball and then get out of the way when the Globetrotters start going into their act. But you'd get to go run up and down and shoot some jumpers and, get out there.
I want to D somebody up. You don't get to do the act on me.
Nobody's taking advantage of Tony Gwynn Jr. out there on the court.
We're not doing that.
Fair enough. All right. We have Buster here. Of course, we have Daily Gambit. Sports Court is coming up a little later today as well. And we'll have Chris First, the fans, the Big Five, all coming up in just a little bit. But ESPN, we're lucky to have him on this show from time to time as kind of a regular. And he cut his teeth here in San Diego as a great sports writer for the San Diego Union Tribune, and now, the national baseball guy for ESPN, and that is Buster Olney. Welcome to the show, as always, Buster. Thanks so much for your time. How are things?
I'm doing okay. Thanks for having me.
Of course, sir. All right. I actually saw your clip on ESPN today, so I don't need to ask whether you think Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame. You're pretty clear on your belief that he should be, and I think most of us agree with you based on what he's accomplished. My question to start this off is, do you agree with Rob Manfred changing his mind and removing the ban for Pete Rose? And now that is done, do you think he will actually get in? Will the writers vote him in, or the committee?
So, yeah, and I want to make absolutely clear, I'm not picking sides on the politics, but I think we have to recognize the reality that a lot of the major sports leagues have been doing what they can to please the White House with the new administration. We've seen it in all the sports. And so when it came out earlier this winter or during the wintertime when President Trump tweeted out that he supported the reinstatement, the election of to the Hall of Fame of Pete Rose, I was like, well, that's a done deal.
Yeah.
You just know sort of how businesses are thinking these days and how they're acting. And I think that's what's going on here. Like, there's no question, this decision by Rob does not keep in precedent with what's going on in baseball, because for years and years and years, members of the families of folks like Shoeless Joe Jackson and Buck Weaver have applied for reinstatement, and they've been turned down time and again. But, in the current politics, this is the decision that Rob Manfred made. And I actually think that this path is a fairly easy one once you determine that you're open to the idea of reinstating him. It's a lifetime ban. And so when his life is over, or, Shoeless Joe's life is over, or Eddie Seacott or whoever, then you take them off the ineligible list, and you consider, or you make them available for consideration for the Hall of Fame. I don't think he's going to get in the first time that he appears before the selection committee for consideration in 2027, December. I think there are a lot of hard feelings about Pete and how he handled the situation. There are a lot of baseball fans who what they think about Pete is rooted in how great of a player he was. The all-time hit king, how hard he played, throwing the bat down, running to first base when he drew walks.
Yeah.
There are folks in baseball who were appalled by his actions. And after he was given multiple chances to make good with baseball, to be potentially put in the good graces of the sport, maybe at some point be inducted to the Hall of Fame while he was alive, and he basically thumbed his nose at those opportunities.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of his peers in the Hall of Fame, and we don't know yet who's going to be on the special committee, but I think he's going to need 75%, 12 of the 16 voters, at least, to vote for him to be inducted to the Hall of Fame. And I think there's a really good chance that doesn't happen. I think that eventually he does get into the Hall of Fame.
Now, Buster, how many times do you get an opportunity to have that vote if you are on that particular committee?
I don't think there's a limit as far as I
Okay.
know. Like, I don't think this is a one and done situation, not like with the writers, where, players, once they retire, they get 10 years on the writers ballot and then they're taken off and they're put before selection committee, because in a sense, as they're looking back on these special committees, it's players in history. It's done in perpetuity. It's done where folks in the sport are considered as information is developed.
Buster Olney is with us from ESPN. I don't want to steal Tony's question, but I know that his opinion, because we talked about this yesterday, Buster, is once you do eventually vote Pete Rose in, which I agree with you will probably happen at some point, what does that then mean for Bonds, Clemens, and the rest of those guys?
So I think that with what happens with Pete Rose, or let's say Shoeless Joe, potentially is going to create the path that eventually gets those guys in. And here's how, in my opinion. First off, I think that now that Pete Rose is eligible for the Hall of Fame, I don't know how you tell the story of baseball history without including Pete Rose. But I think that when they do that, and again, I don't think it's going to happen in 2027. Maybe I'm wrong. But I think eventually it happens for him or Shoeless Joe. I think you've got to put all the information on the plaque. The information about the hits, and the 1973 MVP, and the fact that he got a lifetime ban. And I think that's the precedent through which we're going to see eventually some of these guys who are linked to PEDs to get in the Hall of Fame. And that's what I thought should go all along, where just put the information on the plaque in neutral language and let the patrons decide what it means.
Yeah, it's a great thought, a great idea. We'll see how this thing kind of all folds. It does seem like this is it could be the door opening for a lot of the guys who I think many people think should be in the Hall of Fame, but for whatever reason, whether it's they broke a rule, they gambled, whatever it was, they aren't in there. So we'll kind of see how it is. But let's talk a little bit about what's happening out here in San Diego and LA. Those two teams have been kind of going back and forth between first and second place for most of the season. Dodgers seem to be banged up. The Padres kind of got through their injuries. And Fernando Tatis right now, him and Manny Machado swinging the bat extremely well. I would say Tati's probably a guy we're talking about for an early MVP conversation, huh?
No question about it. I recently, on a pod that I do, had a conversation with my colleague Paul Ambikides about MVP candidates, and we both independently had Fernando Tatis Jr. running second behind Pete Alonso. It was off to a great start for the Mets. But given what an all-around player, FTGA is, I mean, that would not surprise me at all if he were to win the MVP. When we had the Padres on Sunday Night Baseball recently, I had this really amazing conversation with him about, where this new approach at the plate came from. And I'm sure you guys probably have relayed the story that he had a conversation with his dad during the off season, and his dad looked at him and said, do you think you're a good hitter? And he said, yeah, I do. And his dad said, well, you're wrong. and from that point, when you hear that from your dad, and Anthony, you're going to know that better than just about anybody. He took that to heart. And what was really cool about it was he said to me, I really appreciate my dad's honesty. And the other thing, too, when I got done that conversation, I'm walking away from Fernando. He looks at me and he said, and, this was, 3 weeks into this. He looks at me and says, now we'll see if I can keep it going. So he wasn't trusting his success in a sense, knowing that he can't fall back into bad habits. And that, to me, was as good a sign as I've seen about what we're going to see out of him this year.
Yeah, the maturity level has, I think everybody has noticed, the Fernando has turned a bit of a corner there, and I think it's really helping him. Buster Olney is with us. But is Fernando the MVP of his own team, Buster Olney? I ask you that because despite only 64 at-bats and 16 games played, this incredible phenom known as Jackson Merrill is putting up another ridiculous start to the season. His OPS doesn't qualify, but it is higher than every player in baseball other than Aaron Judge. He's playing center field beautifully. He's winning ball games. What is the consensus on Jackson Merrill? I know what it is here in San Diego. What do you hear from others?
So he is viewed by folks with other teams as being like, oh, man, why didn't we take that guy? Because, as you know, so many teams passed on him. They see the superstardom. They see the joy, which is something that just radiates off of him.
Yeah.
And I must say, he was in the middle of a big family fight for me, okay? Because my 20-year-old son, Jake, and I do a fantasy baseball team together. We get along kind of like Jerry Jones and Jimmy Johnson. I mean, we are going at it about who we're going to take. And I said to him, we got the first pick in our draft, and I took Bobby Witt Jr. in the first round. And we had the snake draft picks 20 and 21. I said, we're taking Jackson Merrill with one of those picks. And he's like, no, you're not doing that. And I'm just, no, we're taking Jackson Merrill. I'm Bigfooting you here. And he absolutely said, no, we're not going to do it. We wound up taking him, and every day I text my son,
there you go.
Jackson Merrill last night, 3 for 4.
Yeah.
Jackson Merrill last night, 2 for 5 with a bomb. So I am well aware of how good he is so far this year.
Yeah. Buster Olney joins us here, ESPN. You see him on every Sunday game. He's also got a wonderful podcast. I want to ask you I want to go back east. The Red Sox situation is very interesting to me. I want to get your thoughts because I think everybody knows how they feel about Rafael Devers not taking the assignment or kind of balking at it. But do you think Boston has handled that situation properly? Even going back to the Bregman signing, it just seems like they're kind of doing this on the fly. What are your thoughts, Buster?
Totally agree with you. I think the front office has botched this. I know that Rafi has a really strong relationship with Alex Cora, which in the end is the reason why it's worked, to the degree that it has. That he eventually accepted, the move to DH, and we should not lose sight of the fact he's killing the ball.
Yeah.
After he had that hitless first 5 games, he's been great, and so I think that his relationship with Alex has been really important in this. But I will say, the highest I ever made was junior varsity, so I'm asking a bunch of people in the game, what do you think of this? And former players and front office people, I'm saying 90% of them are basically look at Devers' response and say that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
He's the highest paid guy in the organization. He sets the tone for what goes on within that clubhouse. And so you have a situation where they're loaded with these other prospects. They're loaded with outfielders. Potentially a chance to get guys like Roman Anthony, the big leagues, could happen if Devers agreed to play first base at this point and open up the DH spot. And he's saying, nope, I'm not going to do it. And guys, from what I've heard, it's a settled situation. Unless he goes to Cora at this point and says, I'm willing to take ground balls at first base, this is a done deal. He's going to be a DH only. And I had one, longtime evaluator say to me, hey, if you have that guy do that, you even really have a team in terms of, the way that players are looking at this situation. And so I think it's one of those things. And again, Anthony, you know better than I do on this. I think it's okay. We'll make do with what we have now. He's playing DH and he's thriving. I think it could potentially be a little cancerous because you just had the best player on your team say, nope, I'm doing what's best for me and I'm not doing what's best for the team.
Interesting. Buster, only we got 1 minute left. I don't want to waste it because we get to talk to you when we get to, and I like to sneak it all in. Our friend Bud Black had to pay the price for the stupidity that is the Rockies organization. How low can they go? But I mean, they are historic. We just saw them over the weekend, a 21-0 game, etc. I don't know. Can baseball kick them out of the league? Can they remove? What are they going to do? We got a minute or so left.
Yeah, so we have to take the hyperbole that we were applying to the White Sox last year and just save that and now apply it to the Rockies.
Yeah.
Okay? As bad as the White Sox were, 121 losses last season, they're taking all the titles, the Rockies are, from the White Sox. They started the week on a pace to lose 137 games, to have a run differential more than 500, negative 500. A terrible season is negative 200. They're on a pace to be over negative 500. I pointed out to my son Jake today that they're being doubled in runs scored by their opponents this year. It's crazy how bad they are.
Yeah.
Buster, as always, man, we always appreciate our
You're
time.
the best,
every time
Buster.
you come
We
on.
love it. Thank you.
We thank you. We'll catch up again soon.
All right, guys. Always love talking with you. Thank you.
All right.
Buster Olney, ESPN.
There he goes.
Man, on that Red Sox situation, you could totally see that, like, even if at this point it's settled, but there are teammates looking at him like, come on, dog.
Right.
You just know it.
Yeah. But the Red Sox organization put him on.
They did.
They put him on the stage.
That's why
they did a bad job. Yeah,
exactly, and that's why all of it matters. I know we are just supposed to kind of just move on because as the player, right, you're just supposed to kind of just do it. But if they would have handled that right, they're not sitting here having this same conversation. I don't think so.
Agreed. All right, very good.
All right. That was you, huh? Go ahead.
Yeah, real quick, we'll get to a break. We got the Daily Gambit, a lot of other stuff. Thanks to Buster, man. I love talking baseball with him. Thanks to you for being out there. Gwynn and Chris continues. Going to 5:30 or so today ahead of Padres baseball on 97.3 The Fan.
Hour number 2 here on Gwynn and Chris. Tony Gwynn Jr., Chris Ello, Matthew Scraby. Just had a great conversation with Buster Olney. Talk some Padre baseball. Lineup is out today for the Pods. The only change today, Brendan Lockridge. He gets to start in left field today. Everything else is the same. And I have not. Hold on, let me refresh. Still no Angels lineup. Not that you guys care about that one anyway, but nonetheless, that's where we are for today's game.
What is the I know I asked this back in the day when I used to drive me crazy waiting for Jace Tingler to release the lineup. What is there is a limit somewhere, right? Because the other team should have a chance to prepare for your lineup, correct?
Yeah. No, I mean, there's a limit, but I don't think we ever get really.
Nobody really gets there. Yeah. All right.
I think it's I don't know that there's a rule. I think it's kind of just normal practice
courtesy
to give.
Yeah,
courtesy. That's the word I was looking for. Courtesy to get your lineup in at a certain time. But sometimes we played Chicago. I don't know that they had their lineup in early at all. Any of the 6 games we played, we felt like I was waiting for Counts almost every day to get his lineup.
Went to the Jace Tingler school of releasing lineups.
Maybe he was trying to get that super tight sweatshirt on. Yes, Jace Tingler school.
Drove me nuts.
We do have a daily Gambit to get to, and I think we shall.
Do you like money?
I think about money a lot.
Do you like money without doing anything?
Winning.
Do you want to make money while watching sports?
I think Washington is immortal luck.
Washington! Woohoo! If you answered yes, this is your segment. Just don't blame us when you lose.
Nothing is ever your fault.
It's your game. Take it.
Gwynn and Chris go through the top bets of the day in The Daily Gambit on 97.3 The Fan.
The Daily Gambit is our daily sports betting segment here on Gwynn and Chris. Please, everybody, gamble responsibly. Before we get into our sports betting, tune into the Manager's Report with Mike Schilt this Friday at 9 a.m. on Ben and Woods. The Manager's Report is refreshed by EcoWater SoCal. Try alkaline water for just $9.95 a month. EcoWater SoCal, keeping it soft since 1925. All right, let's review what we did last night. And the first bet we made was Cleveland and Indiana. Cleveland 8-point favorite in this game. Chris went Cleveland. I went Pacers. Pacers won 114-105. So they win the bet. Yeah.
It was a poor exit by Cleveland to bow out.
They had a 14-point lead at one point.
Yes, they did. They were blowing Indiana out, and it didn't hold up. Donovan Mitchell said,
to turn my head and I asked Dave, I said, Dave, what happened to the game? Oh, it's over. I was like, oh, the Cavs won, huh? He said, no, Pacers came back and won.
Yeah, it wasn't even, and it wasn't really that close at the end. And Donovan Mitchell, as you said earlier, Tony, he did everything he could. He also apologized to the people of Cleveland for their shoddy performance. Yeah. Said, we'll be back. We'll see.
Cleveland! The shoddy performance is for you.
Yeah. Well, Cleveland fans should be used to shoddy performances.
Oh, OKC -10 on the spread against the Denver Nuggets. And Chris and I both chose the Nuggets. We were both, or actually, no. OKC won 112-105. I did my math wrong. So Denver does win the bet because they cover on the other side.
Yeah, I got to say one thing. Jokic was, I've been on his case for not playing any defense. But his shot making last night was off the charts. I think he scored 44 points
from behind his head.
Unbelievable shooting by this guy
from
last
back
night.
here. Like, you can't even.
I don't know how he
can't do nothing with that.
No.
Make it rain.
He was like that guy, that character, except he was putting it in.
Along Came Polly,
making the shot.
One of my favorite movies.
Yeah,
it's great.
All right.
Do you like Along Came Polly, Chris?
I remember it. I did enjoy it. Ben Stiller.
Yep.
Yeah.
Enjoyed. Right. Jennifer Aniston, I believe, is in it as well.
Okay.
All right. Cleveland. Who had more points combined? Cleveland and Indiana, or OKC and Denver +10? Both of us went OKC Denver, and we both were correct because of the +10.
Yeah.
They combined for 217, but then the +10, 227. Cleveland, Indiana combined for 219. So we win that one. Jokic, over under 50.5 points plus rebounds plus assists. Both of us went over. Both of us were right. He had 64 total, 44 points, 15 rebounds, and 5 assists.
I got a quick note on Jokic's assists.
Okay.
Keep an eye on this moving forward, maybe, next year. He seems to get triple the assists when they play in Denver as he does when he's on the road. I'm just saying. There's a lot of people that have said that he gets a lot of phantom assists when he's at home.
Oh, they padding his assist.
They pad his assist game.
game.
Yes. And on the road last night, he had 5. That's not what he normally gets. I'm just saying, keep an eye on it.
So you know if that's going around, if you're hearing it, it's definitely going around in NBA circles. So when he goes on the road, they're looking for it. They want to make sure he's getting real assists.
Yeah, well, because he gets all these triple doubles, and people are saying, "Hey, he's a great player, but let's call it what it is." And all right,
he's a phantom assist guy.
Maybe.
All right. Now I have I changed my opinion about Jokic. 3-pointers made. Who made more, Halliburton or Jamal Murray? Chris went Murray. I went Halliburton. Halliburton made 6. Murray made 3. So Halliburton wins that one. Then Stars, the Dallas Stars, -1.5 on the puck line over the Jets. We both went Jets. We were both incorrect. The Stars won 3-1.
Yeah,
and they cover. Dodgers, A's, total score over under 9. Both of us went over. Did not think it was going to be this kind of over, but it was 11-1 A's over the Dodgers.
Our guy Jacob Wilson hit 2 homers. I am really liking this guy more and more, the A's shortstop.
You do love Jacob Wilson.
I do. I think Tony likes him too. He puts his bat on the ball.
I do. His dad, watch, this is how I know I'm getting on. I played against his pops. And his pops used to have that same, can't stay still in the box type thing. And now his son's doing the same thing.
Don't give me that old thing. I played against Jacob Wilson's great-great-grandfather back in the day.
Touche.
Back when we had wool uniforms.
That's right. That's right.
Back when they had sheep that they were sharing behind the dugout.
If you set a match to us, we would go up in flames extremely fast.
I rode a train with Jacob Wilson's great-great-grandfather one time.
Oh, man.
Brooklyn to, Cleveland. Who knows?
That would have been a terrible – never mind. We got to keep moving. Arizona and Giants last night. Arizona -1.5 on the run line. Chris went Giants. I went D-backs. D-backs did not win. The Giants won 10-6. So that's it for our bets.
You and I are both 9-7 heading into today. So we're even. Tony has not made a wager this week. He's welcome to do so today. Boston -4.5. Trying to stay alive against the Knicks. I can't believe Boston's favored here. I got to go with the Knicks.
Yeah.
Tony, Knicks?
Knickerbockers.
Scrape, do they clinch or are you going to?
No, I'm going with the Knicks.
No, with the Knicks.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm going with the Knicks.
Minnesota 10.5 over Golden State.
Ooh.
Tony, I think the only question is whether they get the
unless
spread.
we get news that Mr. Curry's going to show up in this game, I'm going, 10.5 though. They could,
That's a lot.
It's in Minnesota?
Yes.
Yeah, no. Give me the T-Wolves.
For the clinch.
I'm going Wolves too.
I'm going to take the Warriors. The heart of a champion keeps it close, but the heart can only do so much. All right, who scores more points tonight in their game? And these are 2 interesting players. One is Jaylen Brown of the Celtics, who needs to pick up the slack for Tatum. The other is Jimmy Butler of the Warriors, who needs to pick up the slack for Curry. So who picks up the slack better tonight, Jaylen Brown or Jimmy Butler? Scrabe.
I got to say that Jimmy Butler, again, I've done this before where I say Jimmy Butler's the only guy that can score, and then he didn't, but I'm going to go with Jimmy Butler.
Going with Jimmy Buckets. I'm going to go with Jaylen Brown.
Yep.
Because Jimmy Butler is being guarded by McDaniels now. Because he's off of Curry, and now he's on Butler, and he's making it tough on Butler. I'll take Jaylen Brown. Tony?
Yep, give me JB.
Well, they're both JB, actually.
Yeah. Give me JB.
They are.
All right, Angels, Padres, 9 runs is the total tonight. Vasquez has been better. Padres are going to put it on Kyle Hendricks, though. I'm going to say over 9 runs. Tony?
I, too, will say over.
Okay. Scrape? What you got?
I'm going to be a contrarian.
Hey, I haven't heard from the contrarian in a while.
No, I got too many DMs telling me that they hated me for that.
I like that. I'm a fan of that. All right, just for fun, I put them in because they won this bet the other night, but can they do it again? Texas Rangers -1.5 against the Rocks. Texas has won the first 2 games of the series. The Rocks are currently 7-35 and going. This could be their 7th time this year being swept if they lose. This is their 14th series. They've already lost it. They're 0-14. They haven't won a single series yet.
Tough stretch.
That's got to be a record.
Tough stretch.
Tony, who do you like here? Say the Rockies keep it close or Rangers?
Rangers are going to feast.
Rangers feast. Scrape.
Yeah, I've tried to cheer for those Rocks, and they make it real hard. Rangers.
We got Florida Panthers, the defending Stanley Cup champs, at Toronto. Final bet of the day. The series is 2-2. Toronto is home for Game 5, but Florida is favored on the road by 1.5 goals. Scraby. Panthers have come back to even the series at 2-2 after Toronto won the first 2.
I'm going Leaves, baby.
Yeah. He just says that so he can say Leaves and makes all the Toronto fans unhappy.
Yeah. No wonder people say I'm annoying.
No wonder. Yeah. I can list a lot of reasons, but that's just one of them. I'm hoping that Toronto can do something for the fans up there. I'll take Toronto.
Yeah, give me Toronto too.
All Toronto. Okay, we got a break, Tony. Take us.
Let's get the break. Where are you guys going after this?
Chris,
I'm going to go home.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm just
great.
kidding.
Great. Chris and I haven't talked about it yet, but I do have a topic in mind that I will tell him in the break.
Whoa.
Oh, so
secretive.
A surprise on the other end. Here's
Yeah.
some traffic. More good than Chris.
From the 855.
don't know if you saw this story, Scrape. We welcome you back to Gwynn and Chris. The player in the NWSL, of course, that's our Women's National Professional League.
Yes.
Of which the San Diego Wave are part of. The player on the Angel FC club who was taken to a hospital in L.A. during a match, collapsed on the field. Life-threatening situation here.
Wow. I did not hear about this.
Yes, doctors discovered a heart abnormality. On further examination, prognosis is fine now. But the players from that match and the rest of the NWSL Players Association is saying, look, we have a medical emergency type player on the field. Somebody's down like that. That game must be stopped immediately to attend to that player. Remember, this is soccer here, right? You never blow the whistle.
Well, you blow the whistle when the fouling team gains possession of the ball, I believe.
Well, the clock keeps on going.
Yeah, that is. But you don't stop the match until...
Well, people are saying you stop the match. That's my point here. The Players Association has called upon the league to change its protocols and abandon any match. Well, abandoned. Maybe they just didn't even want to continue the match. Maybe I should read this a little more closely. Yeah, they say Players Association, the NWSL says, quote, in no world should that game have continued. So once this happened.
Oh, this is a loaded topic.
Yeah, something to kick around. I don't know. Look, people were scared to death. There's pictures of maybe 100 people arm in arm.
What's her name again?
Around this fallen player. Her name is King. Last name is King. Savvy King. It sounds like it was kind of, at least for a while, a similar situation to what happened in the Bengals-Bills football game.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking about.
Know. When Damar Hamlin went down, that game was suspended, as it should have been. NWSL players say the same thing should have happened here. Anyway, I think looking at this photo, it looks like it was a fairly dire looking type situation. Apparently it's all turned out, for the better. Prognosis is excellent for this young lady, but they say this was a life-threatening medical emergency. Game should not have continued. Players say that. So
at first I was like, come on. But I'm with them.
Yeah.
If it's something that serious where someone's life is on the line, I think you should probably stop the game.
I got to go with the Players Association as well. I do feel for the fans, right?
Yeah.
Fans pay. They're in the stadium. Now you're going to tell them all to go home.
If you're going to be the jerk that complains about the game being stopped because someone almost died on the field, then be that jerk, I guess.
Yeah. And bringing up the NWSL, I don't know if everybody saw this, but Alex Morgan is, maybe the most popular women's player in the world, or she's right there, is back with the Wave, not as a player, but as a minority owner. So we welcome Alex back to the fold, and she's on there now. Now she's on the other side, right? She's a minority owner. The Wave, either they did or she did, took out a full-page color ad on the back page of the San Diego Union Tribune yesterday to welcome her back to the Wave.
Chris,
I showed it to you actually in the paper, and you still have it. There it is.
Chris comes back after the show last night, and he goes,
there it is.
I got a guest idea. And he just opens it and
there's
does this. And I'm like, you want Alex Morgan on the show? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, well, she's an investor. Okay, now I get it. But yeah, here's the full page thing right there.
Full page ad. Alex Morgan is back with the Wave.
Here's what she said, and I think people in San Diego will love this.
Okay.
She said, Alex Morgan did in a statement, San Diego is where I've built my home, where I'm raising my children, found a purpose beyond my playing career. I believed in Wave FC before a single match was played, and I still believe this club has the power to change the future of women's sports.
All right, very good. Sticking with soccer, we have a Wednesday night match.
We do. Yes.
SDFC is, to this point, SDFC has only played on Saturdays.
Yeah.
Saturday. Well, that changes this evening. SDFC in action here tonight.
Yeah, against Colorado.
I hope the Rapids. I think they're the Rapids. The Colorado Rapids is their name. I'm almost sure. If I'm wrong, somebody will correct it quickly. Yes, it is the Colorado Rapids. They come in with the Rapids come in with the very hunky-dory record of 4-4-4. 4 wins, 4 losses, 4 ties or draws.
No, I thought it was 4 wins, 4 draws, 4 losses.
Yes, I know.
Okay.
But in their case, it doesn't matter. They're 4-4-4. SDFC is 6, 2 draws and 4 losses, 6-2-4. It's been a great season, expansion season. SDFC currently 4th in the West, but they're only 2 points behind Minnesota. So a win tonight could vault them into second place in the West. And that'll be out at Snapdragon Stadium tonight. A little Wednesday night soccer.
Yeah.
For all you fans out there.
It's never mind. I was going to say something that would not have come out right, but it's like Maction, but it's soccer instead. My original joke would have made sense, and then I didn't do it.
Not quite working, but it'll be interesting to see the first Wednesday night. But crowds have been great. The support has been amazing. The atmosphere has been fun. If you haven't taken in a match, maybe tonight is the night for you to do that.
I was at the Scrabinator game. I was talking to the Scrabinators and asking them about SDFC and how many people have tickets. And, it doesn't, and it does surprise me how many people have purchased season tickets to SDFC. And I was asking him, what's the best part about it? And it's the environment for everyone is the best part about it. Obviously the game is there, but
everybody's having a lot of fun.
And they are fun games. I've been to 3 of them.
Everybody's having a lot of fun. Aaron Judge just hit his 15th homer of the year. He's having fun. He's put the Yankees ahead of Seattle 3-2, middle of the 8th inning, up there in Seattle.
117 miles an hour off the bat, 444 feet.
Judge has been swinging it. Arizona's still leading the Giants, now 8-6 as they go to the 9th inning in San Francisco. Minnesota has finished off Baltimore, coming from behind to win 8-6. They sweep a doubleheader, and the Twins have extended to a 10-game win streak. Good for them. I have enough time to mention the Dodgers transaction today. Austin Barnes, see you later. They have released their longest tenured player. Austin Barnes has been DFA'd. For all of our DFA fans out there, the Dodgers have DFA'd Austin Barnes. They have replaced him with one of their top prospects, Dalton Rushing, who is a catcher. I think he can also play some corner infield. Left-handed hitter, had the OPS about 940 in AAA. So I played first base, left field, and catcher. Interesting.
That is an interesting mix.
But they like this guy, and he comes up, and we'll see. Now, Will Smith is still the guy, but Rushing will get some time. The Dodgers are still hurting right now. Michael Conforto and Max Muncy are both just awful automatic outs in that lineup. And the Dodgers are trying to figure out, how to navigate that. And also, as we suggested yesterday, we're going to talk more about it in the Big Five. Roki Sasaki has been put on the injured list, and they don't know when he's coming back. So he's right there with Blake Snell now and Tyler Glass now. I mean,
they're
all over there. We don't know when the Dodgers are going to get them back.
The list of the pitchers.
I'm sorry to hear this.
The list of the pitchers that are not pitching for the Padres or for the Dodgers right now is pretty incredible. I got to say, and that's what you get for spending a bunch of money on guys that I don't know.
You're happy about it.
I am happy about it. Yeah. You spend $101 billion or more. I am a little happy about it. This is finance karma coming to get you.
Finance karma, you say?
Yes.
All right. Some Padre fans would say Sasaki's getting a little karma for choosing the Dodgers instead of coming where it would have been much more comfortable here in San Diego.
Yeah, remember when he said?
Yeah.
But I guess, the Dodgers were willing to put in a bidet for him, so... A bidet.
I don't know that it was a bidet.
It was a bidet.
I heard it was a Japanese toilet.
That's a bidet.
What it was?
That's a bidet.
Thank you.
That's a bidet.
All right. Well, good day to you. And we'll take a break here. Coming up is a little sports court. Tony, Judge Gwynn will be back with us. And we will rule on some interesting items as Gwynn and Chris continues.
Ben and Woods on the Fan.
Coming up on Thursday, can the Padres win this series against the Halos? And we'll be joined by our pal Enos.
Hands on the heart. Stay low. Oh, you idiot. Typical tandem student right there.
I tried. I wrecked your good job,
times.
buddy.
Fun, huh?
You need help with anything?
Okay, I'm nervous.
8:05 is the time here. Crisello, Tony Gwynn Jr. down at Petco Park. Coming up on a sports court here. Getting Judge Gwynn into the chambers. Getting him ready. Getting me ready to handle some of your offerings in the world of dispute.
The world of dispute.
Yes. And
maybe that's the segment name now.
Maybe we should change it to the world of dispute.
That would be hilarious.
Here's something you can't dispute, Scraby, before we get to it.
Okay.
Came across this today. Talked about the Padres and things that are, going well this season, right? Fernando and Jackson and Machado and just overall, they're 26-15. They're only a half game behind the Dodgers. They're only a game behind the Mets and Tigers. The Tigers now are tied,
really
by
good.
the way, for the best record in baseball.
So those 2 losses in Detroit don't really look that bad anymore.
Well, they count just as much, I guess, as any other losses. But, yeah, all 4 of those teams, by the way, have 15 losses. Mets, Dodgers, Padres, Tigers. Here's something about the Padres you may not know. They are second in all of baseball. The Padres are in the second fewest unearned runs allowed. Do you know what that?
Yeah, unearned runs.
Get to where I'm going here.
Yeah,
unearned runs obviously are a result of errors.
So that means they don't have many errors.
Either that, or whenever they make an error, their pitchers, cover for it and don't cough up the runs. Padres have only given up 9 unearned runs the entire season. The leader in that category is Atlanta with 8, but the Padres are second with 9. So put good defense alongside all the rest of the stuff that the Padres have done well so far this season.
They have played pretty darn good. I mean,
good defense.
There's some nights that we could complain, but for the most part, we can't complain.
All right, they've made errors, as every team does, but the errors haven't cost them, right? Only 9 unearned runs. By comparison, the Rockies, just saying.
Oh, gosh.
38 unearned runs they've given up this year, which is far and away the most, by the way. 38. Padres, 9.
Dick Monfort somewhere like...
Sounds like they're playing a completely different sport than what the Rocks are doing.
They might actually be.
All right, let's check some traffic here. Tony's ready. Let's get some sports court going here.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Eliminate Termite, the orange oil experts. Getting a little busier on our roads. Got a collision on the San Isidro Boulevard on-ramp to northbound at 5. Also, westbound 8 before the 15. Collision involving a couple cars. It's in the center divide.
Do you have a sports issue, San Diego? Do you need a third party to make a decision? The guys have put on their robes and picked up their gavels.
All rise. Here comes the judge.
Gwynn and Chris Sports Court starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, it's been a little bit since we've done a sports court. First, if you love Mediterranean food, try Spiro's for authentic Mediterranean cuisine in Coronado or La Jolla. That was Chris grumbling over there. For dining or takeout options, visit
I'm kind of starving
spiroscuisine.com.
Tony's
I'm
looking
on my
for a
diet
handout.
right now, and I'm starving right now.
Yes, you are. He's on the SD Fat Loss. He's the newest member of our SD Fat Loss community.
Welcome, Tony.
Yes, welcome.
Starving right now.
You know, I'm going to come
and
by.
I didn't have time to get any of the snack stuff.
Celery and pickles.
I'm just out here. I'm just out here naked right now.
I have some leftover celery sticks from when I did it, Tony. I can bring them by.
That is so gross.
You can hang on to those. I'm gonna go to Sprouts tomorrow.
There you go. That's where you got to go.
Yes, yeah. I love this. That all three of us now are part of the SD Fat Loss family. It's great. It's great. We'll all keep each other in check.
We're trying.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to work. So we're going to talk about someone who heard something about Dave Sims he wants to ask us. Also, a coworker has a problem with another coworker. And then the last thing is about dogs. And it might be sad, but I think it's not so sad. But anyway, here we go.
I don't like where you're going.
I don't like it. Are there any animals hurt in the filming of this segment?
No.
All right, good.
No hurt animals. Maybe just some hurt emotions from us.
Okay. All right.
Hey guys, I heard you talking about the Yankees announcer taking some days off before he went to Seattle, and I have something somewhat similar going on in my life. I've been out of work for the last year, but I recently got a job, and it's been a huge relief for me. I have not gone to a Padres game this year because money was tight, but my wife bought me some tickets to the first Dodgers game when they come to town next month. I've been looking forward to this because, really, I had nothing else to look forward to. But my wife is saying now I cannot go to the game because it's going to interfere with my new job. I told her I think it's okay if I give notice, but she doesn't want to hear it. She doesn't want to chance anything. She doesn't want me going to this game anymore. Chris, should I give up the game for the job?
Remind me again what his wife thinks.
His wife does not. His wife does not want him to go to the game.
You don't need a judge to tell you what to do on this one, my friend. Happy wife, happy life.
All right, this is where perpetually single guy comes in.
All right.
No, we don't need perpetually single guy in here.
Hold off.
Get him out of here.
Yeah, hold off perpetually single guy. Here's my only concern for this question. If you go against your wife's wishes here and feel things out and kind of, work your way around the edges and ask for a day off kind of sheepishly and end up going to the game, God forbid anything should happen to you in that job.
That would be hard to deal with.
Then I won't be seeing you in sports court. I'll be seeing you in divorce court. That's all I'm going to tell you, pal.
She bought him the tickets, though.
Yeah, I know, but things have changed since then.
Listen,
So-
I guarantee
Yeah.
that is exactly what his wife is thinking. Like, you've been out of work for a while, it sounded like.
I mean, this
for
is a
over
big
a year.
deal, yeah.
You got a job,
Yeah.
and I know I got you these tickets, but there's a conflict, and I'd rather you keep your job than go to that game. I guarantee that is exactly what she's thinking.
Yeah.
Guarantee.
All right, just for the fun of it, we'll allow Mr. Single Person come into
Perpetual single person?
Yeah, come into
Perpetual
the
single
come
person.
into the
Come on in.
chambers with a comment here.
I'm a man. I
Yeah.
can deal with this on my own,
Yeah.
lady.
Yeah.
No, in all seriousness, I would be like, well, hey, I don't think it's a month out. Like, why can't I just ask the boss if I can have the afternoon off so I can go to the game?
Listen, that is, if you like dice, this is the game for you right here. I'm just saying, you can do that, and maybe you get away with it. Maybe they're like, yeah, cool, you can come back,
Yeah.
Maybe they're like, if you don't show up, matter of fact, you hope that if you tell them, they say, hey, listen, if you don't show up to work on this day,
Yeah.
you can not come back.
They
So
may-
maybe you could try that way first.
They might even tell you to go ahead and go. Enjoy yourself.
I would hope that
And
they
then when you
wouldn't do
come
this
back
to this
on
poor guy.
Tuesday, you'll be watching Game 2 from the comfort of your couch
If
because you'll be
Dave
home.
Sims can take off 3 games after getting the Yankees job, this guy can take off an afternoon to go to a
Dave
Padres
Sims
game.
wasn't out of work for over a year. Dave Sims
Dave Sims has
was
a little cachet.
Yeah.
All right, fine. I would.
I feel for the guy. I do.
I do too.
I
mean, it
want
just
to go to
sucks
the
that
game.
the time
It makes
lined
sense,
up like
but
this.
yeah.
It does. All right, that was a more fun topic than I thought we were going to get into, but come on, wife. Just let him go to the game.
Perpetual single guy again.
Perpetual single guy over here. It's easy to make decisions for me.
No, that's
Scraby,
right.
do you want to go? No? Okay. All right, here's the coworker one. I've heard you guys talk about this before, but I have a coworker who is, quote unquote, you don't know ball guy. He is an idiot when it comes to baseball. One of those guys who wants to DFA everyone on the team anytime something bad happens. I've tried ignoring him. I've tried to remove myself from seeing him, but every time we talk about the Padres, he hates the team and everything about it. I'm not even sure why he's a Padres fan. But then at some point he'll drop, quote, "That's because you don't know ball." I don't want to make an awkward workplace. I'm ready to lose my mind on him, and I know that's not good. My wife's options were these, and Tony, you're going to be up first. My wife's options were just ignore it or agree with him and steal his thunder. Tony, what do you think? What would you do?
What, agree with him that you don't know ball?
Or just... Yeah, agree with him about DFAing and things like that.
You know what? I mean, I know someone that could host a show called DFA Today. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're really into that.
DFA, we need a segment called DFA Today.
Well, we could certainly do one every day.
Yes.
On this
that
show.
being said, I probably would ignore my man and just let him talk and catch him in one of his bad takes. You know that because inevitably baseball reveals itself, and you can find out what someone knows, what they don't know. And so I would just not say anything. I'd ignore him, but I'd be listening to wait to catch one of those bad slip ups and then hammer him on it. Yeah, and be like, man, you don't know ball apparently.
That would be hilarious, though. That would be so funny. Chris, what would you do in this situation?
What I do with you?
What is that? Ignore me?
No, you're the guy that wants to DFA everybody. You used to be.
Okay, used to be. I'll take
right.
that.
I finally have brought you around.
Yes.
So I think this
Gravy
guy
might have to be the new host of DFA.
Yes, I think this guy. I think this guy has to work his best to try to bring the guy around and actually teach the guy about ball.
You can't teach you don't know ball guys about ball. They
we
will not listen.
That's not true. Tony and I have been successful with you.
Yeah, but Scrappy never came off to us like you guys don't know baseball. Like he never said that.
Well,
I would just be like, really? You're not going to DFA a guy after he struck out 3 times? Like, like you guys don't know ball.
Scrappy left room to be taught. This guy sounds like he doesn't know room.
Yeah, I know.
Anybody who responds with "you don't know ball" is an immediate block on Instagram and a walk away if we're in person. Chris?
I think Tony's got it right. Take notes. After he says, I'm DFAing this guy, write down the date, write down who he's DFAing. Then, when that player, whether it's Dylan C. strikes out 10 in 5 innings or Xander, finally has a 2-home run game or 7 RBIs, just send him a note back. That's all.
Send him a note.
Slide him a little note back. Hey, did you see
receipts.
Dylan Cease pitched 7 no-hit innings last night?
I thought you wanted to DFA him.
Yeah, he would have. You know what? That wouldn't have happened if we did what you said on April 19th.
I have enough.
Clearly, you don't know ball. You got to hit him with that.
Oh yeah, you have to use it. You have to use it.
Sure.
I have enough experience with the you don't know ball people that I know when I go back to them and I say, hey, what about DFAing Dylan Cease? They'll be like, I always knew he was going to come out of it. Yeah, okay. That's why you were DMing me about DFAing Dylan Cease.
This is why you keep receipts, as Tony said.
Yeah. All right.
They can't argue with the receipt. Yeah, screenshot it.
That is a good one. And then you always have to deliver before you walk away.
Yeah,
you
May,
don't know ball.
What is today? May 14th today?
Yeah, May
14th. DFA Jeremiah Estrada. I've had it with him. DFA him. Okay, let's wait till he runs
strikes
off
out 15 in a row.
or 14 in a row, and then just hand it back. That's all.
I was just motivating him.
I know.
Sure. There are some wild.
Well, when Bogarts had the
I
big,
know there are.
When Bogarts had a good game, was it 2 weeks ago? And I said, hey, we ask on the Gwynn and Chris show that you give it a 1-day rest on criticizing Xander Bogaerts. The most popular response I got to that tweet was, oh, we were just trying to motivate him. He did good because we've been on his case.
Yes, I'm sure that's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I'm so sure that is the thing. All right, final topic here, and this is the dog one. It's sad but happy at the same time. I found this on Reddit, so it's not anyone who reached out to me. My wife and I are dog lovers, but my wife has taken it to a new level. Recently, we have taken in 2 senior dogs because we couldn't have them just waste away and pass away at the pound. Now, She wants to be a dog hospice, and I don't know if I can handle it. And when I say handle it, I mean handle it the emotional part of it. It's so sad to see these dogs struggle down the stretch, but it does make us feel great. They can have a nice part of their life before they pass. I'm not really sure what to tell my wife. I think Tony's up first. Tony, what would you tell his wife? Like she comes up
like
to you.
A hospice for a dog, basically?
I think what I gather from this, they want to go adopt older dogs and then have them have a good life until they pass away. And this guy's like, I can't handle it.
I'm kind of with him on that, man. Like, I don't know. Death is hard to deal with. And when you become attached to something like that, this is on one hand, listen, I'm kind of torn on this. On one hand, I understand, like, making the life of the dog better before it passes
instead of just sitting in a kennel.
But you inevitably become really attached, and like, I don't know, that's just my personal feeling on this. Like, death is really difficult to deal with, and when you become attached to something, and to go to repeatedly have to go through that over and over and over again would seem a bit much.
Fair enough. Chris, what would you do?
We have a lady in our neighborhood who's a wonderful lady, has 3 dogs, and every now and again adds a 4th dog to her normal 3. It's not an older dog. What do they call it? You foster. You foster the dog.
Yes, that's how I got lucky. My brother was fostering him.
Okay. Well, that worked out okay for your brother, at least in the sense that every now and again he could come see Lucky if he wanted to.
It's true.
Most dogs that you foster, once somebody picks them up, that's it. You don't see them ever again. I couldn't pull that off even.
That's tough.
I couldn't. So if you're asking me to pull off a dog having to die in my presence every 3 weeks, I would honestly have to you gotta have to, be honest with your wife and say, I can't handle that. I'm sorry. I understand what we're doing. I love you for what you're thinking. No, I can't do it. You got to just give it a no. Doesn't have to be a stamp your foot down yelling no, but it's got to be a soft, solid no. Yeah,
I will not open a morgue for dogs.
Yeah, that would probably not the best sentence, but yeah.
Honestly, when I read
the opposite of that response right there.
I mean, I get, this lady in the neighborhood, I get close to some of her foster dogs, and then they leave, and I'm like, wow, what happened to that dog? Well, he's gone now. Like, how do you deal with that?
My brother and his wife do foster because it helps get the dogs out of the kennel.
It's a great thing to do.
And they have it in their mind that they are going to find another loving family.
I still can't do it.
I get it. Trust me, I get it.
Some people can do it. Good for them. I can't do that.
One day, guys, I'm just going to go buy a ranch somewhere, and I'm just going to have like 75 dogs, and it's going to be amazing. So, thank you for that.
Are you going to foster 75 dogs? Or are you going to own them all?
I'm going to do both. Maybe foster 30 of them and own 45 of them.
This is what happens to older, single, forever people.
Perpetual people, they surround themselves with animals.
Well, we used to call them cat ladies.
I'm a dog man.
But you're going to be a dog man.
That's fine
when
with
you get
me.
older.
I am a dog man, and that is okay.
All
right. That is it for the sports court. Now, when we get back, yesterday we had a really impressive winner of Chris versus the Fans. Today, you have a chance again at those Bruno Mars tickets. 833-288-0973. Chris versus the Fans up next.
Ecom Bakadaku on the same team, Robin Morg on the same team. Ecom and Morg are fighting on the left side. And now Morg is down to 1 stock, Ecom down to 1 stock. Bakadaku has 3 stocks. But Farrell needs to win this one to stay alive. Econ and Robin on the left. Morgan Bakadaku on the right. Morgan Ecom only have 1 stock. Bakadaku, Robin have 2 stocks. Now Robin, the only one with 2 stocks. Everybody else with 1. Kearney took the first game. And now it's 2-on-1. Actually, Morg is back, so now it's back to full strength on each side. Everybody has one stock at this point. Robin looks to be out. Ecom and Bakadaku against Morg. O'Farrell needs this. Morg hanging on. Bakadaku, Ecom both with one life. Morg. And there you go. O'Farrell ties it up. Now we go into the third and final game.
3, 2, 1, go!
It's this. Each team, O'Farrell and Kearney, have won a game so far in the championship round. Loser comes in second. Winner wins it all. Bakadaku and Robin on the left. Morg and Ecom on the right. Both floating. Ecom goes down. Everybody with 3 stocks except for Ecom, who has 2 stocks. Now Robin down to 2 stocks. Ecom and Bakadaku trying to get back on the stage. Bakadaku does. Ecom does. Again, this is the third game of the championship round. Morg has 3 stocks. Everybody else has 2. Stephanie says, let's go. Robin and Bakadaku are battling on the left. Everybody with 2 stocks now. As even as it can get in the third game of the final match, final round. Now Ecom down to 1 stock. Everybody else has 2. Robin and Ecom on the left, Bakadaku and Morg on the right, but now Ecom and Bakadaku trying to team up. Robin now with 1 stock, Ecom 1 stock. Everybody else with 2. Bakadaku and Morg 2. Ecom, no stocks. But we'll be back. Bakadaku and Ecom down to their last stock. Morg and Robin have control right now. Ecom and Bakadaku O'Farrell. Morg and Robin from Kearney. And that's it. Kearney High School takes it in 3 games. So let me just figure this out just to make sure I have everything. But I believe the tournament is now over, and Kearney High School has won it all. O'Farrell has come in second, and E3 Civic High School takes home 3rd place. So thanks to everybody for watching on the stream. Ecom, Bakadaku on the same team, Robin, Morg on the same team. Ecom and Morg are fighting on the left side. And now Morg is down to 1 stock, Ecom down to 1 stock. Bakadaku has 3 stocks. O'Farrell needs to win this one to stay alive. Ecom and Robin on the left. Morgan Bakadaku on the right. Morgan and Ecom only have 1 stock. Bakadaku, Robin have 2 stocks. Now Robin, the only one with 2 stocks. Everybody else with 1. Kearney took the first game. And now it's 2-on-1. Actually, Morg is back, so now it's back to full strength on each side. Everybody has 1 stock at this point. Robin looks to be out. Ecom and Bakadaku against Morg. O'Farrell needs this. Morg hanging on. Bakadaku, Ecom both with 1 life. Morg. And there you go. O'Farrell ties it up. Now we go into the third and final game.
3,
It's this.
Each team, O'Farrell and Kearney, have won a game so far in the championship round. Loser comes in second. Winner wins it all. Bakadaku and Robin on the left. Morg and Ecom on the right. Both floating. Ecom goes down. Everybody with 3 stocks except for Ecom, who has 2 stocks. Now,
the 4 o'clock hour. Hope you enjoyed our sports court today. We've got a big 5 coming up at the bottom of the hour with more Tony Gwynn from Petco Park. Crisello here, along with Mr. Scraby in the Odyssey Palace Studios. Getting ready for a little Chris versus the fans coming up here. And we had a good game yesterday, as Scraby pointed out. Look for another good one coming up today. The winner of which will be qualified for a chance to win our grand prize, the trip to see Bruno Mars in Las Vegas, including 2 tickets to his show at Dolby Live. It's at Park MGM, September 3rd. You also get a 2-night stay at Park MGM and a $100 gift card. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Scrappy, give me the title of a single Bruno Mars song.
Gosh.
Can you do it? I don't think I can. Superstar was there? No, not Superstar.
I definitely know his songs. I don't know titles. Maybe was there one called Gorilla?
I don't know.
I think there was one called Gorilla. Actually,
I thought there was like
in our music system over here.
Bruno Mars songs. I'm typing in.
24 Karat Magic.
Yeah, is that what it's
24
called?
Karat? I don't know. 20, I don't know what the songs are called, but
I don't know. 24 Karat Magic.
Yeah. Wait, you don't know?
I don't.
I'm trying to see real quick. Oh yes, 24K Magic. You definitely know that one. Hold on, let me put this one in here real quick and see. You've heard this song. Have you?
Yes, but then I quickly changed the channel.
24K in the air.
Yeah, sorry I asked. Chris vs. the Fans is coming up. Just came final there up at, what do they call that now? Oracle Park?
Uptown Funk.
Uptown Funk. That's not
Uptown
all
Funk
his,
gonna
though.
give it to you?
No, that's not all his.
But it's definitely his.
He's in it. I don't think that's
Mark
all.
Ronson is the other guy in it.
Yes. Yeah, I don't think that's a Bruno Mars joint.
Treasure is a good one, I guess.
Treasure. Okay, there's one. I know that one. All right, good. Enough. Final.
I already put it in the computer.
Final at Oracle Park. Arizona holds off the Giants, who loaded the bases there in the 9th. 2 outs, pop up, and Arizona wins it 8-7 over the Gigantes today. So you got that. Told you the Twins extended to a 10-game win streak. They took 2 from the Orioles today. Doubleheader sweep for the Twinkies. And the one other note, Aaron Judge hit his 15th bomb of the year, enough to get the Yankees past the Mariners. A couple of things happening here. The Knicks and Celtics will be tipping it off shortly in Boston, with the Knicks looking to close out the Jason Tatumless Celtics. Later on, it'll be Golden State and Minnesota. But the big story of the day, Scraby, it's 4:04, and I haven't mentioned it yet. In an hour, the National Football League will reveal its entire schedule for the upcoming 2025 season. It's less.
Remember the days of sitting in class?
That's not what I wanted.
Did you
I wanted
play the wrong one?
Yes, my fat finger hit the wrong button.
Uh-oh.
That's
There we
what I
go.
wanted.
Yes, we're coming up on it, baby. Less than an hour, we will know who's playing who. So,
well, we already do, but
no, we know who's playing who. We don't know when everybody's playing anybody.
And I'm very annoyed by this whole process. So
yes, but you say that, but when I tell you who the 49ers open the season with, you'll be happy to know the information.
Well, you know what I'll do? I will, when all the schedules are out, I will
Right.
go look for the 49ers schedule.
You
I
just
will
don't
read
need
it.
a TV show.
I
to
don't
tell
need
you.
3 hours of
Yeah, well, NFL Network is going probably the whole thing here, 3 hours. All right, let's get to Chris versus the fans. We got people who want to play and people who want to win. Let's let them at it.
If you had one shot, one opportunity to take down the human almanac himself,
howdy do.
Now is your time.
Listen to me, this guy, he's dangerous.
Now is your opportunity to win a prize.
Well, I hope you know what you're in for.
Chris versus the fans starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right. The rules. You have to make it through 3 questions. Each question will get more difficult. If you get the question right, you move on. If you get the question wrong and Chris gets it right, you're eliminated. But if Chris gets it wrong, then you move on to the next question or you win.
And you know what? The people who got through on the phones today to be candidates to play, they are not locked out of heaven.
Oh, wow.
According to this, that's the number 1 Bruno Mars song.
Yes, I would agree.
Okay.
I would agree.
All right.
There's lots of Bruno Mars fans out here because everybody's texting me.
Yeah, you should know this. You should know this. Yeah. He's a pretty popular guy.
Before we get into the game, Spencer on the chat, because we were talking about the dog hospice in sports court. He said that his wife does this to him. And he said, you better have a good vet and a ranch hand to pick up all that poop, money to feed, flea, and tick. I know a few peeps that have exactly what you're describing.
That's the negative part of all of that.
We were up to 7 dogs. Only 2 are ours. We managed to have placed 4 dogs since.
Yeah, it doesn't sound. It may be too late for who's that? Spencer. You said
yes.
Maybe too late for Spencer to get the foot down on that one.
Sounds
like it's already spun out of control.
It's a little bit.
So I'm a little worried about Spencer there. It sounds like you're kind of got to keep doing it now.
Yeah, I mean,
so that's, again, I'm not against doing this.
I know.
I just personally couldn't do it.
It would be tough.
It'd be too sad.
It would be very sad, but I would also think that it would be very rewarding to give that dog a nice life before it passed away.
I agree with that part of it. All right.
Yeah, let's move out of this sad dog story that I brought up again.
Our first contestant today will be Peter Hernandez.
Who's that?
That's Bruno Mars's real name.
Really?
There you go.
I had no idea.
I didn't either. Until
no wonder
just
he
now.
changed it to Bruno Mars.
Yeah, Peter Hernandez would have never sold a record.
All right, if you're a first-time player, let us know before you get to the first question, and you'll get that question for free. Good. Let's start with Jeremiah. Hello, Jeremiah.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
First-time player.
First-time player!
Awesome.
All right, here we go. Question number 2.
Good luck, Jeremiah.
Who did the Raiders draft in the first round of the most recent NFL draft?
Number 2 question here. Think it's gettable. I don't know the draft a little bit.
Yeah, I don't watch the football draft. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Oh, man. I'm sorry.
I only watched it, Jeremiah, because they paid me to watch it.
This is true.
I think they drafted old Ashton Genty, the running back. And that's probably one of the very few teams I could name the first-round pick. So it's bad luck for you, Jeremiah. Yeah. Sorry about that, but play again.
Sorry, Jeremiah.
Might break your way next time.
Yeah.
You know, we'll give you a question you know better next time. So now that you're in there, make it a regular part of your day. We appreciate it, Jeremiah.
Let's go to Troy in Point Loma, it says. Troy,
right.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey,
Hello.
Troy.
Are you ready to play, Troy?
Yes, sir.
How are things in Point Loma today, Troy? Good? I like Point Loma.
Yeah, nice and sunny.
Beautiful, beautiful place on earth right there. Point Loma.
I do like Point Loma as well. All right. With the Point Loma pleasantries out of the way, let's get into the first question.
Taking care of that.
Coming into today, really in the last few weeks, who is the only qualified hitter in baseball to have a 400 batting average or more?
Aaron Judge.
Aaron Judge
is correct.
Very good. He's at 410 before today. We know he had at least one hit today because he had a home run.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
A monster home run.
Aaron Judge is he's hitting it. He's all that right now.
He is. Second question. What 2 teams are going to be kicking off the NFL year in September?
tough. You had to be listening yesterday or read up on this.
Eagles and the Cowboys.
Oh,
Nice.
Hey,
Nice job,
don't
Troy.
Don't ever question Troy.
Is this Troy Aikman?
Troy Aikman was on that. He knew it. He's broadcasting the game. Very good, Troy. Very
All
good.
right. Here is question number 3. You get this right or Chris gets it wrong, and you are qualified for, what was it, Paul Hernandez tickets?
Peter Hernandez
tickets. Okay, here we go. So this is last year. Which former Padres catcher threw out the first pitch before the Padres and Dodgers played in an NLDS game at Petco Park last year?
No idea.
Okay, he's going to pass. Are you going to pass?
Well, he doesn't know, so
Mike
he's not even going to
Piazza?
take a guess.
We're going to pass. We're going to pass. Chris.
Yes.
Who was the former Padres catcher who threw out the first pitch before the Padres and Dodgers played in an NLDS game at Petco Park last year? It's a wordy question that I wrote.
I can picture the guy who I think it is, but I'm not sure of his name. Carlos Hernandez.
Carlos Hernandez?
He was the catcher on the 98 Padres.
Yeah,
So
we
that's
talked to
my
him,
guess,
actually.
Yeah. No, not right.
Troy, you are a winner.
Troy wins. All right. Good for you, Troy.
Stay there, Troy. It was.
All of Point Loma is celebrating.
I got to say, I was at this game.
Yeah.
When they announced this guy's name,
right?
The stadium went nuts.
They
because
did?
Jorge
I must have been there.
Alfaro
yes.
threw out the first pitch one game.
LFL,
and he got the stadium ready.
He got him ready. Yeah,
he did. That was really cool, actually.
Good old Jorge. Yeah, that's good. I thought they brought back Carlos Hernandez, but I think they brought him back for a first pitch this year. And he was out there catching somebody as a tribute to the 98 team because he was the catcher on that
when
team.
we did our 20 I think we did it during 2020, but we did the party like it's 1998. We had him on.
He
the
was
show.
one of our guys, yes, because he's the Spanish language broadcaster, color analyst for Padre baseball. Carlos,
that's Grady.
Not
Grady.
him, but
Rah, rah, rah.
I just wanted to play Eduardo Ortega.
There's that little Eduardo.
He gave me, for anybody who doesn't know, Eduardo Ortega is a broadcasting legend, and he called a fake home run
you
of
hitting
mine.
a home run off me.
Yeah,
that's Grady. That's Grady. Rah, rah, rah.
It doesn't get old. It doesn't get old.
Eduardo. Okay, we got to get a break.
Yes.
Got to get a break. When we come back, I got a couple of Padre bullpen stats that you're not going to believe. When Gwynn and Chris continues, we got traffic in here somewhere as well.
Well, Dylan, I think the first obvious question, long hair, long beard, is have you had a shave since the last game of the season?
I don't think so.
Man.
I don't think so.
That's great. That's
Why
great.
is that?
Is the time, Chris Ello. Tony Gwynn Jr. down at Petco Park. Scraby. It's Gwynn and Chris, 97.3 The Fan. Padres, Angels coming up. About an hour from now, Sam Levitt will have the pregame show. Got a couple of numbers here for you. I'm kind of a stat freak, Scrabe. I don't like to inundate people with numbers, though, because they are just what they are. They're fun to, I think, go over. But it's interesting that we predict so much based on numbers that have happened previously. And it doesn't really, mean a hill of beans sometimes. Guy could be 0 for 20 against a certain pitcher and still go 4 for 4. So got to take them with a grain of salt. But here's a couple that stick out to me. Do you know who the leads the major leagues in batting average? What team? Number one, batting average in baseball.
A's?
How about the San Diego Padres?
Oh, well, that would
on
have been
top,
an easy guess, Matt Scraby.
265. But the Padres are nowhere near leading in OPS. They're 10th there at a 734 OPS. The number one OPS team is the Yankees at 828.
That makes sense.
Here's why. The Yankees have hit 76 home runs now. That's 12 more than any team. And it's twice as many as the Padres. Padres have 38 homers. The Yankees have 76. But Padres have a better record than the Yankees. That's not really easy to do when the team is out homering you to that extent.
Well, if they're out homering with a bunch of solo shots.
Well, yeah, but the Padres have hit mostly solo shots too. Remember, we've documented that in the past.
It's true.
All right. Padres bullpen, just how rough has it been? It's been rough, people.
Over the last what?
I'm going to take you over the last week. Okay, we're starting last Wednesday. Oh, yeah, right. Thank you, Cher. We're going back an entire week for this one. The last 7 games in which the bullpen has participated in 6. Because remember, Kolek pitched a complete game in Coors Field, so that's not a bullpen day. 6 games. In those 6 games, it's incredible. I mentioned it a while ago on the show, but for those who missed it, the Padres bullpen have given up 31 runs in 6 games.
That's a lot.
Not a great math guy, but that's more than 5 per game on average being given up on your bullpen. Last night, the Padres bullpen only gave up 2 runs. That was the fewest they've given up in any performance the last week. In order, they've given up 10, 3, 7, 3, 6, and last night 2. So it has been really difficult. And it's crazy when you compare it to what they did before. As of last Wednesday morning, a week ago right now, before that game in New York against the Yankees started, which they lost 12-3. Remember, and all those earned runs came in against the bullpen. Yeah. Prior to that game, the Padre bullpen was 9-3 with a 1.68 ERA and 1 blown save the whole season. In the week since, the Padre bullpen is 1-2 with a 15.28 ERA and 3 blown saves. You talk about a crazy week that doesn't make a whole lot of sense compared to what, we've kind of come to know with this bullpen. But it's been bad, and thankfully, Fernando saved it last night.
Yes, he did.
Because, you get another loss like that, back-to-back nights where you blow a lead on top of everything else, that can start spiraling on you a little bit. So that's why that Fernando home run was such a big deal last night. I think.
I mean, we knew the bullpen was not going to keep
what
we
they
knew
were doing.
168
was absurd.
But
we didn't expect 15.28 either.
The greatness is not equaled by how bad they've been the last 6 games.
They have been really bad. I mean, they've been bad for a week.
Oh, wait, I should say this. For as good as they were, they've been as bad.
Yeah, for at least a week's time. That's fair. And everyone's contributed to it. Estrada blew the save last night. Adam blew one. Suarez blew one. So all 3 of them have blown one. Morejon and Peralta let the lead get away in that 12-3 loss.
Yes.
That was not officially called a blown save because it happened in the 7th inning, but they did let a lead get away. You kind of get the idea here. All right.
I do get the idea, and I hope it turns around like today.
Tonight would be good. Give me 6 innings of Randy Vasquez, and then give me, 3 shutties out of the bullpen. The team bullpen ERA is now 3.32, Scraby, overall, which is now 7th best in baseball.
What are we even cheering for anymore?
Huh?
What are we even cheering for anymore?
I think we should give up the season. Frankly,
I'm done.
It's over.
I'm done. DFA them all.
Yeah. The only thing that makes you feel better is I can give you some more of those Colorado Rocky numbers, but you don't want those. It's so fun. To me, I don't know why it is that I'm so drawn to their how bad they are. I am really drawn to it.
How many games have they played? Because I know we were watching like the White Sox pace.
Yes, the Rockies are 7-35. That's 42 games. Last year, the White Sox at this point, I believe, had already won 9 games, so they were 2 ahead. But the Rockies, I think the most amazing thing is that they've played 14 series and they're 0-14.
That's pretty hard to do.
Even the White Sox, I think, won a series in there somewhere.
The White Sox had a small little winning streak in there somewhere.
Bit, yeah. The Rockies haven't even won a series.
But didn't the White Sox also lose like 18
they lost 21 in a row.
21 in a row.
Yeah. So the Rockies may have to still do that down the road to keep up with the White Sox, which I think the Rockies may be capable of doing.
Now, if we take out the Wandy Peralta numbers, and I'm not trying to single him out.
Yeah, take only Wandy out.
Do they get a lot better? Just a little better?
Haven't figured it without Wandy. I think he gave up 6 in the Yankee game, and he gave up, I think, 2 in the game on Sunday.
Let me see.
So that would lessen the ERA quite a bit.
Wandy Peralta.
In his last 2 outings, how many earned runs has he given up?
Oh, well, the last 2 outings, he's only given up 4. He pitched twice against the Rockies, but then against the Yankees. So in the last 3 outings, he's given up 10.
10. So you could take 10 off of this, and it would be 20 earned runs in 17 1/3 innings, which still isn't very good.
No, but it's a lot better.
It's a little better.
I think it's a lot better.
Well, let me see. Instead of 15.28, you got to appreciate a guy that can talk on the radio and
do some math at the same time.
10.18. Not that much better.
No.
It's better, but it's not that much better.
No, you're right.
It's not acceptable. Not acceptable. All right. We'll see if the Padres can get that turn starting tonight. Get the bullpen going again. And as I've said often, your bullpen being good makes your manager smart again.
It does.
Because right now, every time Mike Schilt makes a move, you're booing him. But it's not him. It's the guys that are coming in. Earlier this season, we were obviously cheering every time somebody came in for the bullpen.
Because everything works worked for him in the beginning.
Right. Well, and you bring the bullpen in there. Like I said, smart bullpens make smart or good bullpens make smart managers.
But you got to stick with him because, I had a conversation with my friend about Suarez the other night and about how he's so angry at Mike Schilt because he didn't take Suarez out of the game or have anybody warming up. And I'm like, Robert Suarez had 14 for 14 save opportunities, barely even giving up hits.
Yeah,
striking everyone out. You're not going to just take him out because he walked a couple.
You
guys.
Also don't have somebody warming up because you never have somebody warming up
when your
Suarez
is in the game.
Comes into the game.
They think it's over
to win the game.
Yeah.
All right, we got to take a break. Big Five is next. Stick around.
Ben and Woods on the Fan.
I've been listening to you guys for the past 4 months. You guys are super.
Tony Gwynn Jr. at Petco Park, where we bring him back in for a little of the Big Five, which was put together nicely by Matt Scraby. Let's have it, sir.
It's that time of the show when we check on the latest in sports. Only the most important topics and questions are brought to light.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
These news stories will astound and amaze you. The one, the only.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
The Big Five starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, everybody. We're going to have a happy Big Five today because of Fernando Tatis Jr. hitting that walk-off home run last night. That was awesome. And, you know, it was pretty surprising to me that was his first career walk-off home run. I mean, when you think about it, you don't really think of one, but you would think he had done it by now. He's hit 3 homers in a game. He's stolen home with the ball in the infield twice. He's pretty much done it all. He hasn't done a cycle or anything like that. So, Chris, I'm going to ask you to put on your prediction hat. What's the next feat you think Fernando will accomplish?
I think he's going to pitch a perfect game.
Didn't think about that one.
Yeah, I didn't think of that one either. There isn't a lot left for him. I mean, a cycle is probably something that wouldn't even really be surprising for him to do. But there's been greater players than Fernando even that have never hit a cycle. It's just a weird thing. And the cycle lands on strange players from time to time. You would think he could maybe have a 4 home run game. But then again, Babe Ruth never had a 4 home run game, but Scooter Gennett did have a 4 home run game. So it's really hard to predict something like that. He's won the Platinum Glove. Hopefully the next thing he accomplishes that's big is an MVP, and maybe he'll do it this year. Nights like last night are going to help him in that pursuit. There's a long season ahead, but if he hits his 40 home runs, he can steal 30, 35 bases, keep his average above 300, and play elite defense. All of things he's already done to this point. There's absolutely no reason he won't be in the conversation for it.
Yeah. Tony, what do you think is the next feat that Fernando's going to accomplish?
I think it's the MVP. I think that is the one that is seems so obvious that based off of his skill set and what we've seen him do, I think that's the next big thing he does. And listen, at this point, it's hard to not think of it happening as soon as this year, the way he has played here. And this is all while trying to, get timing correct here. He's still like up here, one at bat, putting his foot down early, the next at bat, leg kicking. That last one that he homered on, it was almost like Kenley's windup was taking too long. So he hung there for a second and then set it down. And I mean, just the crazy freak nature of which he was able to then generate the type of power he did on that swing was crazy. So yeah, I think MVP is the next big one. The next big one that he's got coming his way.
The more I think about it, Tony, I think you deserve a lot of credit for that home run last night because I believe that somebody told Kenley Jansen, or Kenley Jansen was listening to your breakdown of Fernando's struggles yesterday. And I think he eased up on that pitch a little bit, thinking, he's struggling right now. Yeah. He doesn't look like he's struggling when he hits the ball that far. It is pretty amazing.
Know, and I'm not on screen right now, but when a catcher sets up one way and then his glove goes like this to end up catching the ball.
Yeah, he missed his spot.
He missed his spot, and that's exactly what that pitch was. Kenley, I think the catcher was setting up a way, and that ball kind of ran back over the middle, inner third of the plate.
I love how Kenley does the, I don't even know how to do it, but he does the rocking until he throws. I love that.
I think most people just fall down trying to do what Kenley Jansen does.
He also will mix in the Clayton Kershaw wind up there on the right side. He mixes that one in there too. It didn't work yesterday though.
It's nice to see the Padres, doing something against Kenley Jansen, because we've seen it the other way so many times.
Very true.
All right.
Number 4.
And just to remind everybody out there, other closers do blow saves once in a while, not just Suarez. So
word up.
Keep that in mind
Yeah,
next
but
time you're ready to trade him.
Suarez is DFA'd, man.
I know.
I know.
Get him out of here.
All right. I don't want to dance on his grave, but Roki Sasaki has been put on the IL by the Dodgers with a shoulder impingement, making his MLB debut season a little bit rockier. In 8 starts this season, Sasaki owns a 4.72 ERA with nearly as many walks, 22, as strikeouts, 24 in 34 and a third innings. Now, his fastball has been hit pretty hard, even at its peak velocities, and hitters have missed with only 10% of their swings against his fastball, less than half the 21.3% league average whiff rate for fastballs. That was a mouthful. Tony, I know this is going to be an extremely hard question for you to answer, both of you. Do you think he would face the same problem if he was a Padre? I told you. I warned you.
Yes.
You think he would be facing the same?
Without a doubt. Do you know who does this sound like? Who does this exact story sound like?
Yamamoto?
It sounds exactly like Yamamoto.
And look what he's doing now.
And then you fast forward to now, and look what he's doing. And listen, I think this was always something that was discussed even before he signed, before we had an inkling he was going anywhere, was that he was not a finished product. He is a guy who he doesn't have the experience that Yamamoto has coming from Japan. So I think this is likely would have happened regardless. Except, in some ways, there probably would have been more pressure because the Padres, you look at the rotation right now, not knowing what we know now, right? He would have been just one of the 5 starters, one of the 5 starters, right? And then on top of that, he wouldn't have the workload would be more because the Padres don't have 8-9 guys to start the season. Now he's pitching probably every 5th day, more like, but he was before he got hurt. But that was their intention, right? Where they can kind of ease everybody in, and then everybody got hurt and it all changed. So yeah, I think it would be the same regardless.
Chris, would he face these issues if he was a Padre?
I don't know that he would face them to the same extent. I think he could have had a much quieter debut as a Padre, and we have felt that all along. The Dodgers are the defending world champions. The Dodgers are the darling of the media and the national media, and the focus that goes along with that simply doesn't apply to the same extent in San Diego, and it never has. And we talked about it when he was deciding which team to choose. He said, I don't really want to be in the spotlight. I just want to go somewhere I can pitch and, kind of ease my way. And then he went against what he said, and he chose the Dodgers. So, look, he is example number 10 million of somebody that you hear is great, everybody says is great, but hasn't come out yet and done it. And you know what? He's now going through, a very typical growing process to Major League Baseball. Tony's probably right. He's eventually going to be figured out and going to be really tough to hit. But for right now, Padre fans can, I think, feel a certain amount of satisfaction that we didn't get him because, the arm injury has got to be a concern going forward. And the fact that he hasn't been throwing the fastball, the same velocity.
No, he has. It's just still getting hit, right?
Yeah. Well, when
it's
he does,
getting hit, and it's
I
wild.
think it's a little both. Yeah, he's been wild. I don't know. So no, I'm going to say no because the Dodgers is just a different stage.
It is a different stage. All right.
No. Wait. What was the question? The question was,
would he face the same problems with the Padres?
Oh, face it. Now you asked me a different question.
Did I?
I don't know. But he would face the same problems in terms of trying to get guys out. But I don't think he'd face the same scrutiny that has gone along with this happening to the Dodgers.
No,
right. Those are two
do you
different.
think he would face the same problem if he was a Padre? Either way.
What do you how did you figure that out? You typing this down as you wrote it?
No, I'm reading the question that I wrote on the sheet.
You didn't know he hired
ask the question that you wrote on the sheet.
You didn't know that he hired a court reporter to sit in here and type out everything he says?
They're doing.
He was going back and looking at it
they're doing shorthand in the corner right now. I'm always, by the way, amazed by court reporters and how fast they can type because that's pretty amazing. Either way, both of your answers were good. So I am not going to find these.
Number 3.
All right. Former Padre, but mostly Cardinal, Matt Carpenter has retired after 14 seasons in the big leagues. He has a career WAR of 28.7 and a 259 career average with with 179 home runs in his career. So, Chris, what do you think Matt Carpenter's legacy is?
My legacy and remembrances of Matt Carpenter are probably different from every person in San Diego's. Because I remember watching him at TCU, and he was a cleanup hitter at TCU, and he and Strasburg had a couple of epic duels back in the day when you knew that both guys were going to be, high draft picks. Strasburg ended up going number 1, but Carpenter was, quite a college player. So I remember that about him. But I think his ultimate legacy will be that he's a really, really good major league player and hitter everywhere but in San Diego. And in San Diego, his legacy will be that he was a, complete disaster. I don't think that there'll be any different response to anybody around here about what they think about Mike Carpenter, but he had a really nice career. So, I'm comfortable with the career he had. I wish he would have done more here, and I'm sure the Padre fans would agree with that.
Tony's face was pretty hilarious during that.
Yeah, I wasn't looking at it.
San Diego fans don't get a vote in the legacy of him.
Well, but they don't.
They might remember him a certain way, but they don't get a vote in the legacy of him.
Okay, all right.
Matt Carpenter was a really good big leaguer, like really good big leaguer.
Yeah,
for a long time too. We just so happened to get him in the last year of his career, last 2 years of his career.
Yeah, last year really. Yeah.
So
well, you're right.
So I get it that people will here in San Diego will remember him in a Padre uniform different, but in terms of his baseball legacy, he was a damn good big leaguer.
But I'm just thinking my way of thinking, rating legacy, because I don't know, does somebody actually have a book where they write down somebody's legacy?
Yeah.
Because I don't know.
I'm just saying, like if MLB decides to do a
retrospective on his career,
a perspective on him,
okay,
they probably don't even mention the Padre.
Right, they don't even mention he played here. Yeah,
or they mention it and they make a mark that he was already in the back end of his career at that point. But I mean, that's like because Pujols gonna be not looked at the same way because when he went to Anaheim, it wasn't like perfect, or LA, like there are spots where guys are older and not the same guy for sure.
Well, I think you're
I
right.
can see
Look,
both ways.
Here, look. Hank Aaron finished up as a brewer. He probably wasn't a great brewer. Willie Mays finished up as a Met. He was a very poor Met. Babe Ruth finished up as a Boston Brave. It was a forgettable year. So I think maybe Tony's right, that as time goes by, the entire legacy of Matt Carpenter will win out over what happened here in San Diego. But having said that, since we're in San Diego,
he really wants to get in on this.
I do. If you ask somebody in casual conversation at Los Panchos,
I love Los Panchos.
Me too. If you're having a roll taco with guacamole and somebody brings up Matt Carpenter, prepare to duck, because here it's just not remembered fondly.
I remember him fondly.
Okay,
he was a great interview in spring training.
He was a very good
nice
guy.
guy.
I like that.
All right.
I like that.
All right, here we go.
Number 2.
I'm just going to move past that. All right, Trey Hendrickson is present at Cincinnati Bengals offseason workouts. The key word being present. Hendrickson spoke to the media for nearly 25 minutes yesterday as the Bengals' voluntary OTA session was open to the media. But here is what everyone is talking about.
A little bit transpired between me and Zach. We've tried to keep it as least amount personal as possible. But at some point in this process, it becomes personal. Being sent 30 days before mandatory camp, or however many days it is, that if I don't show up, I will be fined, alludes to the fact that something won't get done in that time frame.
And so he was saying that he took it a little personally. So my question for you guys, and Tony, you're up first here, is we've heard business isn't personal, it's just business. But in this case, Trey Hendrickson is taking part of the process personal. Should he take it personally?
Should he take it personally? No. but it is almost impossible not to, right? You're having these conversations with your head coach, right? And you guys are doing your best to keep it, not personal. And then all of a sudden you get a letter in the mail.
Yeah.
From your signed by your head coach that says, hey, if you don't show up to camp, you're going to be fine. Just put yourself in that kind of mind frame right there. It would drive you to do what he's doing right there.
I know. I think I would be right there with him.
I should have guessed you would be right there with him. But yes, ideally he could just be like, I know it's just a business, and these are just things that have to happen. But when you play any sport and you're around people as long, you inevitably start to have a personal attachment to people, things, your feelings, to how it all works. And so, I feel him. I 100% feel him that he's starting to take that a little bit personal. You can see he's really trying not to. He's taking deep breaths in between.
Yeah, he wasn't looking at the camera. He was really thinking about it.
I mean, he did 25 minutes of that. That's a long time.
What I'm saying. He's trying
to find the words. Yeah, he's trying to.
It took him 25 minutes to say the sentence.
Yeah,
okay.
Right. Yeah.
Now I get it.
No, I get it. I get why. I think I feel bad for him because we know how this is going to turn out. Considering what the team is he's dealing with. I know they paid two wide receivers. We were blown out of the water that they signed the second one. We knew Chase was going to go back. But I don't think anybody thought T. Higgins was going to get a deal. Only reason why he did, by the way, is because it ends up being a little bit cheaper than what it could have been on the open market. So, I feel for him. I agree. I'm on his side on this. But I just don't think it's going to go the way he wants it to go.
It's got to be hard seeing two guys on your team get paid, and you are obvious. I mean, he is a legit NFL defensive lineman, sack leader. Like, he deserves the money, so it's got to be hard for him to see that. Chris, what was my question? Because we're doing.
It doesn't really matter what your question is. Here's the answer.
Should he take it personally?
I don't know. Tony hit on that perfectly. Honestly, there's no way not to take it personally. But my answer to all of the Trey Hendrickson stuff is bad organization, man.
Mm-hmm.
Just a bad organization. We saw what happened last year with Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase, to his credit, rose above it and went out and had an incredible season and made it impossible for them not to pay him the money. But they didn't pay him, right? They basically said, too bad. And T. Higgins hated the Bengals all year long. I give Joe Burrow an incredible amount of credit for getting that franchise to a Super Bowl because their owner is terrible. And we talk about how this stuff trickles downhill. I think that their coach is probably a likable guy, but I'm pretty sure somebody forced him to send Trey Hendrickson a letter threatening to fine him. There's no way that the coach was Zach
Taylor.
Zach Taylor. There's no way he wanted to treat his all-pro defensive player of the year petty like that and say, we're going to fine you if you don't show up. He would never want to do that. But I guarantee you this organization made him do that.
I was going to say, I find it weird that the coach is the one delivering that message.
Well,
Isn't that the GM's job?
I think Chris is spot on. I think that came from the organization.
This is a bad organization.
You're going to have to tell him we're going to fine him if he doesn't show up.
That's not his job, though. It's not his job.
It is in the Bengal organization. It's a bad organization. They finished last year because – I guess they got ahead of Cleveland, but they were not in the hunt all year long, basically because I think there was a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, and there will always be that with the Bengals as far as I can tell.
When I lived in Cincinnati, the one thing that everybody came together on was hating the owner.
Well, look, Mike Brown owns the team because his dad was Paul Brown. Unfortunately, in this case, the apple not only fell far from the tree, but it rolled away 1.5 miles.
If I'm not mistaken, he's like the one handling the money too, ain't he?
Yeah.
I remember watching a Hard Knocks, and he was like in the office, conducting like actual negotiations.
That's crazy. It's crazy. But anyway, not something I have to worry about, or any of us, because we're not Bengals fans, but I do like to watch the Bengals.
Number 1.
All right, Aaron Judge has been incredible this season, although against the Padres, he only got one hit. So he's been so incredible that He's been so incredible that one bettor is putting down some money on something that he has a chance at least for now. The bettor wagered $2,000 that Judge is going to hit 400 or higher throughout the entire season for 175 to 1 odds, meaning a payout of $350,000 is going to come that person's way if Aaron Judge hits over 400. Now, we all know the great Tony Gwynn has come the closest to hitting 400 since Ted Williams, batting .394 before the 94 season was canceled due to a strike. But Chris, you're up on this one. Will Aaron Judge finish above a 400 batting average for the year?
I like how you positioned this by saying that the bettor is due $350,000 if he wins.
Yeah.
What we never mention is the casino is almost guaranteed the $2,000 that this guy bet.
In this case, probably.
All right. Rod Carew, Tony Gwynn. I mean, come on. There's great.
Aaron Judge's name is
hitters.
in those.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
Okay,
Tony
both of you gave me the look of like, shut up.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Tony will back me up on this. Tony's dad hit like no other person on the planet. Aaron Judge, it's too big of a swing for me to keep it at 400 for much longer. I think a fair bet with Aaron Judge is, do you think he could hit as high even as 333? Or do you even think he could actually win a batting title? Because I don't. I think there's guys that are going to have better averages than him when the season's over. So to me, this is a stupid bet, like a lot of stupid bets.
Tony, do you think Aaron Judge is going to finish above a 400 batting average for the year?
No, I do not. I think he might have one of those crazy years where he makes a run, through June or July, but I think he'll come back down to earth below 400. I think I wouldn't put out of the way he's swinging the bat this year. I wouldn't put out of the range of like anywhere between 350, 360.
Huh. Okay.
Like I think his swing is really good, and it's improved a lot since he first came up. That being said, the amount of attention that's going to come, like right now, he's just out there just playing baseball. Let's say he gets to July, August, and he's still hitting 400.
Oh, yeah.
We will be talking about it. He's in New York, of all places.
Yeah, they'll break in for every bat he has on MLB.
He will start to feel immense amount of pressure. That being said, too, every year of his career, he has a month where we seem like the Yankee fans seem like they forget that he's Aaron Judge, and they like hate him because he's not.
Yeah. Last year he had it in April. He got off to a terrible start.
So I don't think he gets through. Let
me ask you this, Tony. Do you think that Aaron Judge, how does he compare in your mind to Barry Bonds? Because I believe they're similar in the fact that they're power hitters who walk a lot, but Barry Bonds never came close to 400. Right?
No, I think he hit 360, 370.
Yeah. I don't know what Barry's highest was. Because to me, to hit 400, you have to get a lot of walks. And if you go back to Ted Williams got a ton of walks. As a matter of fact, Ted Williams never had 200 hits in a season. Never once.
2002, Barry hit 370.
370. Yes. All right. So I think that would be a high water mark for Aaron Judge to even
I can
consider.
see. That's what I'm saying. I can see Judge going in that area.
That'd be a high water
because
mark.
he has a crazy year. Listen. I don't think there'll ever be a better hitter than Barry. Like, we all got to watch him from like start to finish. Like, he's the best hitter ever because he could do all of that. Lefties, righties, didn't matter. He could hit for average, but he also could hit for power. And he could also, like, in his heyday, could steal about 35, 40 bases too. So, I think that's the best hitter ever.
He stole 52 in 1990. He stole 514 in his entire career.
Really? Over 500?
Yeah.
Pretty good.
It's pretty amazing that guy's not in the Hall of Fame, isn't it?
Well, it might change now.
It might change now. Let's hope it changes. That guy should be in the Hall of Fame. All right. That's it for the Big Five. Good stuff, guys. When we get back, Chris and I are going to preview the final game between the Angels and the Padres right here on 97.3 The Fan.
Hey everyone, Tony Gwynn Jr. here to tell you about my friends at San Diego County Credit Union.
Jr., a 2-run shot against Kenley Jansen. And tonight it's the Padres who come from behind and beat the Angels 6-4.
First walk-off of Fernando Tatis Jr.'s career. Could not happen at a better time. Well, welcome into the happy hour, everybody. Gwynn and Chris on 97.3 The Fan. Chris Ello, Tony Gwynn Jr., who was right there beside Jesse Agler for that call last night. I think we had a little bit of a whoo.
Yeah, I love that's my favorite. That's when I know something good is happening.
Yeah.
And Fernando swings.
Whoop, there it was. Yeah, you can barely catch it there, but Tony was on it. He knew it was gone, and the Padres get a much-needed victory. They'll look for another tonight with Randy Vasquez facing the old veteran soft tosser Kyle Hendricks for the Halos tonight. It is happy hour time, brought to you by GL Pools, the swimming pool experts, trusted by thousands of San Diegans since 2006. The Padres are looking great this season, but is your pool? Call GL Pools. Mention the word radio for a free month of pool service. I like when I said, but is your pool? You said,
Well,
yeah.
You know, pool season is coming up.
It is pool season right now. They're doing a little service, not GL Pools. We have the community pool
at your
where
community
I live.
pool.
Yeah. And they're doing a little service on our pool. So it's been closed for like 2 weeks. I'm like, can we speed this up a little bit?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
I know.
That is ridiculous.
Take the water out, put some new water in, drop in the chemicals, mix.
Well, it's not that easy. That's why GL Pools, we have them.
That's why we have them. Yeah.
Yes. I am going to force myself to swim more this summer because swimming is a good exercise.
It's a great exercise. I will give you that. All right. We're into the happy hour indeed. Padres and Sam Levitt with the pregame coming up in about 25 minutes. We also have a Scraby segment for you. I don't know if you were aware that we have a Scraby segment today.
Yes, I was aware. Yes, I was aware.
We should always have a Scraby segment to
we
close
always
out
do.
the show.
That is the deal.
NFL schedule will be released any moment now. I'm on the edge of my seat, Scrabe. I know you're not, but they're going through the, the pleasantries there on NFL Network.
Yes.
Rich Eisen, and now he's talking to Al Michaels. I know Al Michaels has a lot to do with that, but he's on the schedule release
Prime
show.
Video, baby.
Okay. Anyway, there are the 49ers. I look, I bring them up often because you're over there. They were a last place team last year. We agree with this, right?
Yeah.
We also agree with the fact that since then, they parted with like 25 of their players.
Yes, they
did. Everybody you've ever heard of, except for Brock Purdy and the injured Christian McCaffrey.
And George Kittle.
And George Kittle, who wants out or wants another contract.
No, he doesn't want out.
You know what I mean? They traded or let go of everybody. All right, so the 49ers, last place, total looks like they're rebuilding. For some reason, Vegas loves them. And the betting odds, I just looked this up, Scraby, over-under wins for the 49ers this year, 10.5, which is the 5th highest of any team in football.
I'm not sure how.
I don't either. The only 4 teams ahead of the 49ers in terms of who will have more wins than them are the Eagles, the defending Super Bowl champs, the Chiefs, who are always there, the Ravens, and Bills. The 49ers total of 10.5 is the same as the Lions. Now, I know you're not a Lions fan, and they lost the playoff, etc.
I get it.
But the Lions, at least coming into the season, have to be considered better than the 49ers.
Yeah,
What am I missing?
I can't answer that question.
I know.
I
don't
can't
get
answer it.
I really don't
guess,
get it.
I guess they're just feeling like because the 49ers usually figure it out, they're going to figure it out.
I guess, yeah. I mean, the 49ers finished last.
What were they, 6-11 last year?
6-11. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rams are back. Seahawks look a little bit better to me. Anyway. All right, the NFL schedule will be out. It's not out yet. There's a whole bunch of, games have been released, and we know the Cowboys and Eagles are going to play on opening night, September 4th. We got all kinds of Netflix Christmas triple headers, and all of the international games were released yesterday. But the official schedule is coming out any moment now.
Yeah, I mean,
and I'm like fired up, and you could care less.
I just want it to be out. That's it.
It'll be out. Just relax. 2 minutes to go in the first half. Knicks Celtics tied at 57. Game 5. East semifinals. Knicks looking to put the Celtics out of all of our miseries and wrap that series up. Not yet, say the Celtics, at least in the first half. 57 apiece is the score there. Anything to update you on? Not really. Padres lineup tonight. Did we get that? I think we did.
We did, yep.
Brandon Lockridge is in there tonight in left field. And that, it brings up a fair question. I hate to say it, but
Is it time?
No, it's not time, but it is at least time to bring it up. You know?
Are we talking Jay Hay?
Yeah, I don't know how much longer the Padres can go. I know the defense has been good. He did hit the first 3-run homer of the year, but that, it came in a 21-0 game. It wasn't exactly crucial. I don't know. Tonight, Brandon Lockridge is in there against a right-handed pitcher. I mean, at least Jason Hayward got the start against almost every righty since he's been healthy all year. I think it's the first night that they put him on the bench, even against a right-handed pitcher. So that just, look, I'm not waiting. I'm sitting here waiting for the guy's demise, but it gets me thinking that they might be starting to think. I know it's only May 14th, and we've had people on and say, hey, you got to wait till at least late June to do something like that with a veteran player of, Jason Hayward. The problem with Jason Hayward, as we've said many times before the season, Scrabe, is that he hasn't done it for like 3 years. Not like we expected him to just completely bounce back this year.
Yeah.
It'd be one thing if he had 25 homers last year and he was kind of struggling. You'd say, hey, he's off to a slow start, etc. But he's just been, less than average at the plate for a while, like years while. So, I don't know what they're going to do there.
Do you know what the
and you've already got another automatic out after that in Martin Maldonado batting ninth. And I know somebody's going to say, well, he had a home run in college. Yes, I know. He has 2 home runs. I get it. But you don't have a whole lot of confidence, nor do I, nor does anybody else when Martin Maldonado's up. So can you really get where you want to go with 2 automatic outs, even at the bottom of your lineup? I know, look, bottom of your lineup is not supposed to be hitting 400, but you'd like for them to be at least some kind of threat.
See, I go back to what we talked about in the roundtable a couple weeks ago. Like, why are we surprised that Martin Maldonado is not hitting? We knew this was the deal coming into the year.
This is exactly it. I just didn't think he'd get this much opportunity. I thought
fair.
I thought Martin Maldonado would be more, maybe 40-60 to Elias Diaz, with Diaz getting the majority of it.
Yeah.
And the only reason I would give Maldonado the edge is if I felt he's playing superior defense, but he's not. So what does this tell me that he's in there again tonight? They want him to handle the young pitching of Randy Vasquez, Kolek, etc. And whenever Vasquez pitches, Maldonado's there to catch him, handle the game. That's what they want? And that is of most importance, I believe, to Mike Schilt. He proves it by keeping Maldonado there and playing him all the time.
Do you know what Luis Campusano did yesterday?
Nah,
in AAA? Hit his 8th home run of his season in AAA.
I can't keep begging for Campusano because they're not listening.
Real quick. Yes, we have to break. I will tell you that thought on the other.
Well, you get the Scraby segment, so you can include it in your segment.
I will.
It's coming up after we take a short break. Some traffic in here as well.
From the
Wait to turn the show over to Sam Levitt and the Padre pregame show ahead of tonight's Friars-Halos game. But before I do that, Gwynn and Chris, we turn things over to Matt Scraby and today's Scraby segment. What do you have today for us, sir? Turn your mic on.
Yes, I need
That'd
to
be a
do
good
that.
start if you're going to host the segment.
Real quick, though, Cole, who was at Scraby Dinner tonight, thank you, Cole, for coming. You were
Right.
great.
Okay.
He was saying, I think at some point on the chat, they were talking about whether or not the Padres should go after Austin Barnes.
No.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Austin Barnes is no.
It's just no.
Yeah.
You'd rather take your chances with Luis Campusano.
Well, you know how I feel about Luis, but I'm seemingly the only person in the city limits that, would like to give him a better chance than just 8 at bats before I send him back to the middle of
AAA?
nowhere.
Yes, to El Paso.
I don't know. I think Campusano can give me a threat in the lineup, but Mike Schilk doesn't want that. So it's fair that he's getting what he wants, and he's the manager. I'm not. He wants a catcher that handles the pitchers, and that's why Maldonado's getting the call. Simple as that.
Okay. The other thing I was going to say before we went to break was the new nickname for Jason Hayward. It's not very nice.
Did I come up? I didn't come up with it.
No. The fans came
What
up
the
with
fans
it.
are coming
Instead
up?
of J Hay.
Oh, JK.
K-Hay.
Oh, I saw JK. Okay.
K-Hay.
Yeah, K-Hay. Sorry, Jason. It is what it is.
It is.
We're just calling it like we see it. We say this, and we'll continue to say that Jason Hayward is some kind of terrific guy.
Yes.
And a great clubhouse person and teammate. And we applaud the fact that his defense has, continued to be there. But I don't see how you can win the pennant with a left fielder hitting 180. Just doesn't work that way.
Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right.
That's the problem.
I mean, it's about it's I don't even know when it's going to happen, but it's going to happen soon, I think.
Yeah.
Sooner rather than later. Okay, so I got into this argument, Chris, and this is what I was going to talk about tomorrow night, but I'm glad you're here because I'd much rather talk to someone about this. And it has to do with our round table pizza that we get every single week for the round table.
Delicious.
And I am somewhat of a fan of Hawaiian pizza. I like pineapples. I like Canadian bacon.
Mm-hmm.
But my friend was telling me that they want a pizza with other fruit on it. They want a pizza with apples. They want a pizza with peaches. They want a pizza with grapes. They like fruit on their pizza. Now, I'm not a big fan of peaches or grapes or anything like that.
Right.
But the pineapple pizza,
you're okay.
I'm okay with it. Where do you stand on pizza and fruit on the pizza?
Well, you're asking the wrong guy. Because other than the round table pizza that they bring here on Thursdays for the round table, I don't go near pizza very much. I'm not just I would rather spend my calories elsewhere.
Okay.
That's always been my thing with pizza. But it doesn't sound good to me, peaches on a pizza or grapes or apples. But I would tell your friends, go home, get your own, your own dough or whatever they sell. They can sell you pre-made pizza dough nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
Slather a little sauce on there.
Slather it.
And drop as many peaches as you want. Stick it in the oven. Give it a shot. It's a free country. Last I checked. So, but no, this doesn't sound like it would appeal to me. There's a picture of a pizza right online here. It's called a fruit pizza. Okay. I see apples and I see kiwi and I see, all the things, grapes and everything you're talking about on here. That's the name of it, a fruit pizza. And here's the whole recipe. Should you ever want it, you can find it online.
Anthony says, Matt, please report your friend to the FBI.
Yes, he's a dangerous human being.
Jocelyn says, I just started liking Hawaiian pizza and I'm old.
I don't care for the Hawaiian pizza too much.
You're going to say Jocelyn, huh?
You don't care for Jocelyn? I don't care for. No, I like Jocelyn.
Just kidding.
She was a good fan. I know. Jocelyn.
Yeah. So I found that I'm glad that we got to talk about it because it's a very polarizing thing. This Hawaiian pizza.
Well, the Hawaiian pizza might be polarizing. I think the fruit pizza, with grapes and kiwi and bananas, I don't think that'd be too polarizing. I think there'd be a very, very small percentage of people who would, be willing to try that.
Before we move on to the
if
NFL
you're really
schedule.
that big of a fruit fan, get a bowl, put some fruit in it, mix it up, and eat fruit salad. You don't need to put it on pizza.
Someone said prosciutto and pear pizza is pretty good. Cole said that. I have had that, and it is good.
I've seen that, so I'll give you that one.
Are you a goat cheese guy?
Yep. But
Okay,
not, again, I'd rather have it in another situation other than pizza.
Where would you have goat cheese? In your salad?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Very
All
good.
right. Now we can move on to the NFL schedule for week 1.
Okay.
Because
schedule is out. All the team schedules out. If you are dying to know who your team plays, when and where, NFL.com has every team's, team by team schedule. It's already there. Just right on the front page of NFL.com. You don't have to watch it on TV. You don't have to search for it anywhere else. Just go to NFL.com. I'm giving them a free plug so that you can get your team schedule.
You know what? Who needs a free plug? NFL.com.
Right, boy. Thank God I'm helping those guys out.
I mean, you're keeping them in business right now, Chris.
Apparently so, yes.
All right. So the kickoff, we already know. Cowboys at Eagles.
We knew the second game, too. We just didn't.
We didn't know.
With it.
Yeah, we weren't official on it, but the Friday, September 5th is the second game of the season, and it's going to be the Chiefs at the Chargers in Sao Paulo, Brazil.
It's the Brazil game.
Yes.
Remember last year they played a Friday night game in Brazil?
I do.
And the team that won that game went on to win the Super Bowl. Just saying.
They did.
This year it'll be Chiefs Chargers.
Chargers.
Go Chargers, go.
All right, so here we start with the Sunday games.
September 7th, opening Sunday of the NFL season. That is when we all get to reconvene with Scott Hansen and the Red Zone.
I think Scott Hansen.
He didn't leave.
No, I don't think he's going to.
You said he was thinking about it, but
he
I'm not
was,
going to
because he
let
really
him.
wants to do other coverage.
I know, I can't. Too bad. He's got to stay on this.
I don't know if I can watch Red Zone without him.
Me neither.
So the first game on the list, Raiders at Patriots. Don't really care about this, but Pete Carroll, Mike Vrabel making their debuts.
Interesting. Ashton Genty making his NFL debut as well.
No one has any idea who the Steelers quarterback is, but they're going to go and play the Jets week 1.
Wow.
Yeah.
What an interesting one.
In New Jersey.
If Aaron Rodgers does go to the Steelers, put that at the top of the list of most interesting week 1 games.
That would be really interesting.
Aaron Rodgers goes to the Steelers. That's still a possibility.
I don't even know if Aaron Rodgers wants to play football.
I don't know what he wants to do.
No one knows what he wants to do.
And
and he's been wearing a ring lately.
Put that closer to the I don't care category.
He's been wearing a ring lately, and people are like, is he married? And then
I don't think he is.
The ring?
I think he just puts it on so people will say something.
I'm with you.
And then he takes it off so they'll say something else.
I am with you.
I know you are.
All right.
Next up.
We
got 7 minutes, so just so you know.
I got time
to get this timed out.
Oh, Chris.
What's the next?
Chris.
What? Oh, yes. Well, that's nice.
Doctor.
They did put the Dolphins on the opening week schedule. They're going to let them come out and play in week 1.
The Dolphins are playing at the Indianapolis Colts.
I can live with that.
Okay, so we still don't know who the quarterback of the Colts is going to be. It's either Anthony Richardson or Daniel Jones.
I'm going to root for Daniel Jones. I like our chances to beat him much better.
Now, here's a game that's a whole big who cares.
Okay.
The Cardinals at the Saints.
Yeah.
The only thing is Kellen Moore making his coaching debut. And the Saints have 0 quarterbacks on their team.
Derek Carr retired.
Yeah.
Never even got into that.
No, never even got into it. Then we have a pretty interesting game, Chris, here.
You think?
Giants at Commanders.
What's interesting about that?
Well, we get to see Jaden Daniels again, which is great.
Right.
We also probably will see Russell Wilson throw into Malik Neighbors and possibly Jackson Dart. Who knows who wins out in the Giants
I would rather
camp.
watch Cam Scatterbo, the new running back for the Giants. I like that kid from Arizona State.
Okay.
He's on the Giants. Abdul Carter, we should know.
True.
We should know what number he is by then.
51.
Yeah,
I believe it is.
I know. But
all right,
the Commanders were the big surprise of the entire league last year. Let's be honest.
They definitely were.
Nobody thought they'd be, at all good, and they were in the NFC Championship.
All right.
So that gives hope to everybody this year.
This is going to, even though the matchup doesn't scream to me, I will be watching this game to see how Travis Hunter does when the Panthers go to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars.
Yeah, those were, by the way, the Panthers and Jags should forever be linked. They were expansion brethren back in 1995. They came into the league the same year.
And George Seifert was the coach
of the Panthers.
Yeah, I remember that. Okay.
Tom Coughlin was the Jags.
And one of the teams, did the Panthers make the playoffs in their first year?
Second year, they both made it.
It would be so weird if they had another expansion draft in the NFL. So they're
not impossible.
Not impossible.
Next game. 4 minutes. I'm just letting you know.
We're good.
All right.
We're almost done with week 1.
Don't want you to miss it.
Next game. Bengals at the Browns.
Well, that's always a battle of Ohio.
Shedeur Sanders. Will he be the starter?
Good point. The Bengals probably hope so because Shedeur's first game is not going to go well if it's against the Bengals. Sorry.
All right. Next up, Buccaneers at the Atlanta Falcons.
Hey, my buddy and Ryan in the neighborhood will be excited for this. He's a Tampa Bay fan. And, of course, Michael Penix Jr. era begins there.
Yes.
In Atlanta.
Yes, it does.
So
where's Kirk Cousins right now?
Backing up in Atlanta still. He hasn't been traded for yet. Nobody's moved him.
He's still there?
Yes, he is.
All right. Next one. Titans at the Broncos. Now,
that
Cam
seems
Ward.
Like a mismatch there.
Yeah, it does.
Unless Cam Ward is going to, take
do
the
something
world
great
by storm right away.
No, I get that. I'm not really a big fan of this game.
This is not a game I care about.
No, Bo Nix, second year.
Oh, here's a game I really don't care about.
The 49ers at the Seahawks.
Well, I like it for you because it's your arch rival right off the bat here.
Yeah, they who's
In the
the
first
quarterback
game.
is going to be Sam Darnold, which Sam Darnold and the Vikings beat the 49ers pretty handily last year. So
is Cooper Kupp now in Seattle too? Pretty sure he is.
He is. You're right.
So this
Next
is something
one.
to keep an eye on.
Now I got to pick up the
Christian McCaffrey going to be ready for this game, or is he going to tweak an ankle on his way to the stadium?
There was an article the other day that popped up on my news feed that said Christian McCaffrey retires, and I almost cried.
Bought it?
I almost cried until I realized it was someone predicting that he's going to retire. Chris is telling me we got 2 minutes left. Lions at the Packers. That's a good one. This
Always
should
a
have
good
been the
one.
opener, but neither of those teams won the Super Bowl. Texans at Rams.
Not bad.
No,
Two teams that won their divisions last year. Pretty
Now,
good.
Here's the first Sunday night football game.
Well, that's a good one.
It's a good one. The Ravens at the Bills, the matchup of the
AFC playoff
Yes.
last year.
Divisional? Yeah.
Bills won that game. But now that we're in September, I would pick the Ravens. Lamar Jackson never fails in September.
That's true. Yeah, it's true.
And finally, the first Monday night game of the year.
Dun, 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 dun.
An NFC Norris division battle.
Dun, dun, dun,
you don't remember when Chris Berman called it the NFC Norris division.
The Norse because of
Norris. And it was referring to the name of a NHL hockey division which had these same cities in it. And it was kind of always a slugfest when these teams would play. So anyway.
It's going to be the Vikings at the Bears.
Yeah.
The Bears.
Interesting to see who the Vikings have as quarterback that night.
True.
It'll be J.J. McCarthy. Either way, I'll be rooting for Kevin O'Connell to make life miserable for Caleb Williams.
I think
there you go.
I
I've
think
already
a lot of
decided
people will.
on that one.
Okay, you've already decided.
Yes.
I'll take a deeper dive into this.
The schedule's out, man.
yeah.
That's exciting. We can talk more about it tomorrow. Good Scraby segment today.
Thank you.
We've got Padre baseball headed your way shortly with Sam Levitt's pregame show. Then it'll be the Padres and the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
Series win, baby. Let's go.
Tomorrow's a day off for the Padres, which means we will have our Padre Roundtable tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., commercial-free Padre Talk. If you're a Padre fan and have not yet ever heard the Roundtable, my goodness, come on, where you been? Don't forget tomorrow, 10 a.m. for that, an hour with all of us talking Padre baseball. Then the Gwynn and Chris show, Tony should be in studio with us tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We'll be at 2 o'clock. So enjoy the rest of your evening. And let's see how we do tonight against the Halos.
I think they're
You
gonna
ready to
win.
go?
I'm ready.
Sammy, take it away.
Padres baseball on 97.3 The Fan. That's my Sam Levitt impersonation.